I wouldn't stay there.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Heidi Gennaro is suing her former roommate, Stephanie Hernandez, for rent, late fees, attorney fees, and the cost to change their locks.
Order. All rise. It's case number 187 on the calendar in the matter of Gennaro versus Hernandez.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Gennaro, you were renting a house or condo.
A condominium.
Were you renting it from the owner?
Yes.
Were you renting it from the owner?
Yes.
What's the owner's name?
Hood.
When did you start renting the condo?
On December 22nd of 2015.
And what was your rent?
$1,650.
Sign a lease?
That's right.
For how long?
For a year.
When did you move out?
I moved out August 27th.
So well before your lease was up.
Well, 2016.
So you overstayed your lease.
That's correct.
Did you sign a new lease?
No.
Were you ever served an eviction notice to quit?
Yes, that was it.
On what date?
I believe it was June 20th.
When was the last month that you can prove to me that you paid rent on this condo?
It was August 5th, 2016.
And how much did you pay?
$1,650.
And how much did you pay in July?
$1,650.
And in June, how much rent did you pay?
I paid the same amount, $1,650.
Then you want to explain to me why you were served with a 3-day notice to quit.
Because in June, my father passed away, and I became a little behind because I was sending some money over to my country.
How much a little behind?
About $1,000 short.
But then you paid, according to you, after June, you paid all your rent.
That's correct. I sent her an email, and I explained to her my situation, and I let her know that I was going to pay her rent a little late, and she was okay with that.
Now, you can't tell me what she was okay with, or even that you sent her an email. And she clearly wasn't okay with it because you were served with a 3-day notice to quit. And you did, in fact, leave. You were served with the notice to quit in August?
They were going to sell the property.
You know, we're going to get to the truth here. You understand that?
I do.
Doing what you do a long time. I've been doing what I do longer. So you found out that they were going to sell the property. You had some family problems. You stopped paying rent or were shorting on rent. They were going to sell the property anyway. So at some point, you became a squatter. Right.
I guess so.
I guess so. Now, while you were a squatter and not paying rent, she was your roommate.
Correct.
And your rent was $600 a month.
Correct.
You moved in with Miss Gennaro when?
December 30th, 2015.
So you moved in with her at the same time that she rented the place?
I moved in on December 30th, 2015. I don't know when she first made.
Well, she said she moves in on December 22nd, 2015.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's 2014. December 20th, 2014. I'm sorry.
So you moved in a year later because you got the date wrong. And you were paying $600 a month. Your lawsuit says she didn't pay rent for a couple of months. She owes you money for rent. She owes you late fees. She owes you attorney's fees, and you changed the locks on her. Now, let me ask you this. When you moved out, after you got the 3-day notice to quit and you stayed a little while longer because the marshals were going to eventually come and throw you out, you owe the landlord rent.
No.
You were all caught up? Give me the landlord's number. The landlord was your landlord for 2 years. You're going to waste my time? I'm going to go there and find out.
Do you have my receipts?
Listen to me carefully. I'm going to call your landlord and find out when you moved if you were up to date on your rent. Now, you rented from this person for a couple of years, so you clearly have her number because you emailed her, you told me, and she wrote you back and said everything was okay. Is this going to be a waste of my time? I don't like to waste my time. Were you totally current with your rent when you moved out?
I was a week behind. I actually asked her.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is you were 1 week behind the $1,650 rent, and that's all you were when you moved out. Give me the date that you moved out.
Could I explain?
All I want to know is if I call the landlord, which is going to mean my having to get up from this chair, and I'm not a spring chicken. and go out that door and get on a phone, and I will get to your landlord, and I'm going to say, when Miss Gennaro moved out, did she owe you any rent? That's what I'm going to ask her. And is she going to say to me, well, she owed me a week? Is that what she's going to tell me? Or is she going to tell me that you owed her for several months, or you owed her $1,000 paying your rent in June when your father got sick?
When my dad passed away, I got the notification, and then about a week later, which was June 28, I gave her $1,650 for the month of June.
You moved out in August.
Right, so then August came around.
You know, first comes July.
Okay, so July, okay, so that's correct. So July came, and then I paid my rent. I asked Ms. Hernandez to pay me her rent by text, and she refused to do that.
All I want to know is when you, don't tell me anything about her.
Okay.
She doesn't have a lease with the landlord.
Correct.
You have a lease with the landlord. Am I going to get an answer to my question? At the time that you moved out in August, did you owe any rent?
I did for 1 week.
So you got 2 notices. One that says you were late for your rent in June, and it was a 3-day notice to quit. And then subsequently you got a notice that said that they were selling the premises.
That's correct.
And that was in the same month. Well, it was actually posted the beginning of July.
That's right.
So what you're telling me is you paid rent for July and August. After you got these things, you paid your rent. Mm-hmm. And you lived there until when?
Until July 16th. That's when she locked me out.
When did you move out?
I moved out August 20th.
Now, in the interim, because there was some sort of a kerfuffle between the two of you, you got a protective order against her, or she got one against you?
She got one against me.
Okay. But you still both live together?
Yes.
Except for the period of time that she was out because you would change the locks.
She changed her lock first.
And then you changed the lock back.
That's right.
Okay. And the judge told you that she could be there.
That's right.
So that she came back. What month's rent do you claim she didn't pay?
July and August.
Well, you locked her out in July, right?
Right.
So you don't get paid for July. And you moved back in August 2nd.
Yes.
Why didn't you pay rent for the month of August?
Because when I went to the house on August 5th, she called the police stating that I had broken into the house and stole some of her property. And then I, at that point, said I'm not going to live here because she told the officers if something happened to her, they would be responsible for it.
I thought you moved out at the end of August.
Correct. I was not living at the house on August after that. It was just more.
After what date?
After August 2nd, I just went in there, grabbed some belongings, and went to my parents' house.
Okay, so you had property and basically didn't live there.
Correct.
When you moved back in August, pursuant to the judge's direction that you could move back in, then she called the police again, and you left your property there, which ordinarily would mean that you're there. Is it true that while her property remained on the premises, she was not there after the beginning of August?
She was there.
When?
After August 2nd. The judge granted her with her restraining order.
No, I understand that you could be there.
And I could only be 3 yards away from her, assuming that.
I understand that the judge made that order. She says that she moved into her parents' home because after she moved back, because I assume your hearing was the beginning of August or the end of July, correct?
That's right.
And the judge said she can come back in, so she came back in. After she came back in, did you call the police again?
I called.
That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
How many days after she moved back in?
The next day.
Great. And is what you're telling me, she remained after you called the police in August? She
Yes.
remained?
Yes.
Personally, physically, she slept
Yes.
in the house?
She was there off and on. I don't know. I was never there.
Oh.
So she was there. There were times that she was there and sometimes she was not there. I don't know.
Okay, fine.
She was there sometimes, yes.
All right. Well, I would like to know what you think that she owes you. You locked her out in July, at least the day after she came in. I wouldn't stay there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She put locks in her door.
She can put locks
It's
on
not
her
my
bedroom
property.
door. She put locks on the outer door, her bedroom door.
And her bedroom door.
She could put a lock on her bedroom door.
And that's because she broke in.
Shut! I don't want to hear. Don't speak unless you seem to be losing.
And later today,
I would like to know what your defense is. Your dog was off leash in an area where your dog was supposed to be leashed.
Yes, because the gate was broken, so...
I don't care whether the gate was broken or it was being sent off to Pluto.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Heidi Gennaro says her former roommate, Stephanie Hernandez, owes for rent, late fees, attorney fees, and new locks. Stephanie is countersuing for an illegal lockout and harassment.
Go ahead.
She was there off and on throughout August and July. Even after and before I locked her in. She was coming in there with the police.
You're not entitled to any rent. I don't know if you're entitled to anything because it seems almost unfathomable to me that after you found out that they were selling the premises and they posted this 3-day notice to quit, you continued to pay rent. So what else do you think she owes you? Attorney's fees for what?
Because I needed to get some legal advice. I was not sure what I needed to do.
What you needed to do is not lock out your tenant.
Could I explain that?
No, you can't lock out your tenant. Just like your landlord can't lock you out.
She put locks in her door.
She can put locks
It's
on
not
her
my
bedroom
property.
door. She put locks on the outer door, her bedroom door.
And her bedroom door.
She could put a lock on her bedroom door.
And that's because she broke into...
Shut! I don't want to hear. Don't speak unless you seem to be losing. Okay, taken care of that. Money owed for expenses due to an illegal lockout and harassment.
Correct.
Where are you living now?
I am currently sleeping on the floor at my parents' house.
So you're living with your parents?
Correct.
How old are you?
I am 22.
Okay, so you're living with your parents?
Yes.
Great. She doesn't have to pay you any rent because you locked her out in July. She moved out in August after you called the police again. Your counterclaim for harassment is dismissed. We're done.
But I was locked out and she harassed me.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
According to her, she felt that she was going to get killed by me.
To kill me and get me out of there one way or another, she broke into my room with a weapon.
What I learned is that I think from now on, I guess it's best just not to have a roommate.
I'll live alone without anyone harassing me or banging on my door.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Furnace versus Bolano.
Suing neighbor, 21-year-old Vianney Bolanos, for vet bills after her husky attacked his Papillon.
Mr. Furness, it is your claim that the defendant's dog attacked yours.
Yes.
And her dog was in an area where she should have had a leash?
No. She was outside of the gated area with her dogs were out of... She was by the entry of the area where I was going when I walked up, but her dogs were off leash running around in the park.
Is it an area in the park where her dog was allowed to be off leash? What kind of dog do you have?
A husky and a chihuahua.
Do you have photographs of the area?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at the area that you're referring to. And I assume it wasn't the Chihuahua
No.
that you claim attacked your dog.
No. The grassy area is the park area, and the dirt area would be the area where the dogs would be.
The dirt area is the dog park.
Yes. As you walk around on the pictures, you'll see that's the gate that's going to be separates the park and the dog
And the
area.
dog park.
Correct.
Where were you?
I walked up to that gate, and she was at that gate, but her dogs were not with her. They were running around in the park over off to the side, and I was carrying one of my dogs, and I had him on a leash, so she had looked at me at that point.
Okay, so your dog, the one that's here, is well-behaved, and you were holding the other.
Yes.
And walking into the gate.
Correct.
And her dogs were outside of the gate.
Correct.
You assume she was going to walk into the gate and call her dogs.
Yes.
I assume. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So your defense is not, I assume, because if they were outside the fenced area, they were not permitted to be off leash. What I read in your answer is there was no attack.
I wouldn't say that, but
Well, that's what you said in your answer. There was never an attack.
Well, he was going to kick my dog, so I pulled her. So my dog reacted, and my dog did bite his dog, but to say that she mauled his dog or shook it and, like, threw it on the floor, that did not even happen.
Is what you're...
He wrote that in a statement, and I read it, so...
I want to know what you... Just a minute. He's going to show me pictures, I assume, of the injuries to his dog and show me the vet bills. I would like to know what your defense is. Your dog was off-leash in an area where your dog was supposed to be leashed.
No, we were inside the off-leash dog area.
Your dogs were off-leash outside the area.
Yes, because the gate was broken, so...
I don't care whether the gate was broken or it was being sent off to Pluto in a rocket.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Into an area where there are bigger dogs because...
Well, I was there already.
Your dogs were outside off-leash.
They were inside first.
They were inside first. They were inside a womb first.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Corey Furness says neighbor Vianney Bolanos owes for vet bills due to a dog attack.
Your dogs were off leash in an area where they were supposed to be, on the leash until they got inside the gate.
Yes.
And then you take them off leash.
Yes.
Now, so tell me what your defense is.
Okay. So you want me to tell you the full story?
No, I want you. Your dog came up. That's what you just told me. And now you're saying that this is wrong. There was sort of an attack. Your dog did bite his dog. Well, if your dog bit his dog, that's an attack.
Okay. I came into the park with my dogs both on leashes, and then I was inside the park. So, like I said, the gate was broken. So my small dog fit through under the gate. So my husky chased her. So that's when I was at the grassed area because I went to go get them.
I don't care.
So then I came back inside of the park.
Inside the dog park, the
Yes.
fenced dog park.
Yes.
So we have to say fenced dog park and the greater park where your dogs have to be on a leash.
Okay.
So now your dogs are out in the greater park without a leash.
Yes.
And?
Okay, so then dogs are curious, obviously. So both of my dogs went
I don't know.
up
I have 3 dogs. One is curious, one not so curious.
Well, they went up to like smell each other, whatever. So then he just started yelling at me and saying, "Get your dog off." And my dog wasn't doing anything yet. So I just grabbed my dog.
Wasn't doing anything yet,
Yes.
is what you just said.
Well, so then I grabbed my dog's leash. I was about to go, and then both of my dogs ran, and his dogs ran after, like, towards the middle of the off-leash gated area. When we were there, this is when he started just, like, yelling at me and just, like, saying, "Your dog's killing my dog," but my dog wasn't doing anything. So then he starts cussing at me. He just, like...
May I please see photographs of the dog, please, and the vet bills? That's an attack.
In a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Listen, if you have a big dog, you have to keep the dog on the leash all the time, unless the dog is in a fenced area that is designed for just dogs. And then if he comes in and he sees a big husky, he can make a determination as to whether or not he wants to take his little dog into a fenced-in area where there are big dogs. I wouldn't personally take my little dogs into an area where there are bigger dogs because...
Well, I was there already for like 40 minutes.
Your dogs were outside off leash.
They were inside first.
They were inside first. They were inside a womb first. That's also true. But at the time that this happened, they were off leash where they weren't supposed to be. Judged for the plaintiff in the amount of $864. We're done. Thank you.
Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Her dog came breaking in through the gate where we were and attacked my dogs.
My dog didn't hurt his dog until he cussed and tried kicking my dog.
It's the scariest day I ever had.
Yeah, my dog reacted, but I've had this dog 7 years. She's never had a problem.
Be responsible.
My dog bit his dog, but it's not how, like, he makes it seem.
So you had a long-term live-in relationship.
From loving couple
The relationship broke down.
to stubborn roommates,
Neither one of you wanted to leave the apartment.
but she still leaned on her ex.
How did you split the rent?
I paid my half. When she couldn't afford her half, I had to cover it.
You didn't fulfill your end of the obligation. Once she becomes your roommate, she's got to pay her bills.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Ryan Riemann Schneider is suing his ex-girlfriend, Catherine Anderson, for unpaid rent.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 166 on the calendar in the matter of Riemann Schneider versus Anderson.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. Raymond Schneider, you and the defendant were a couple and rented an apartment together. What month and year did you lease the apartment?
Originally, we leased the apartment several years ago. I would I think it's in July of 2013.
Did you renew the lease?
Yes.
The last renewal of the lease was when?
That would have been last year.
And then there came a time when the relationship broke down, and that was when?
I couldn't exactly give a date, Your Honor. I would
How
say
about a month?
A month? I would
You
say
know? What month?
Thanksgiving Day last year, 2015.
Okay. Now, so you had a long-term live-in relationship. You renewed the lease at least twice. Did you own 2 cars?
separate vehicles, yes.
Yes. You had a job?
Yes, part-time. I was going to school full-time as well.
How were you supporting yourself other than the part-time job?
Student loans, grants, and scholarships that I received.
And what were you doing, Miss Anderson?
In November, I had
Not
started...
November. In 2015.
I was working
For whom?
part-time
For whom?
at a gift shop and a museum.
And what were you doing with the other part-time?
I just had that job, which I still carry now,
How do you support yourself?
with this job.
Okay. So you both were working part-time. You may have had student loans. I don't know what else you did to complete your income package, but each one of you were paying your own bills, correct?
Yes.
You bought your own clothes?
Correct.
You bought your own clothes?
Yes, Your Honor.
You paid your own car note and insurance?
That's right.
You paid your own car note and insurance?
Correct.
Okay. And that was out of a checking account?
Yes.
That was out of a checking account?
That's right.
Did you ever have a joint checking account?
No.
Bills. How much was the rent?
Recently, it was $750, Your Honor.
Okay, so it was $750. And how was the rent split?
I would say 50-50, Your Honor.
What do you mean you would say? What does that mean?
I paid my half. When she couldn't afford her half, I had to cover it.
So you covered her half of the rent.
A lot of the times, yes.
Is that correct?
That is correct, with an exception that I paid for other bills, including electricity bills and gas bills and other things on top of
Well,
it.
other things. What other things?
Groceries every now and then, the cable bill and the internet bills every now and then, too, what I could
Okay,
pay.
so what you're telling me is when you could afford it, you paid half of the rent. When you couldn't afford it, he covered the rent.
Correct, with his
Okay.
agreement.
And you also paid, when you could, the electric bill and some groceries
And including the gas bill, too.
and a gas bill.
Yes.
Okay. Then in November, things went south, and this is what the case is about. There came a time, Miss Anderson, when neither one of you wanted to leave the apartment. Each one of you wanted the apartment. And so we were at a stalemate. You're each on the lease and decided to do what I think is impossible to do after a long-term relationship, stay in an apartment together and run your lives separately. But you, sir, say that there came a point where Miss Anderson, who wanted to remain at all, and when was that?
I couldn't say exactly, Your Honor,
Well,
because...
listen to me. This is a court. This is not a guessing game. You filed a lawsuit. Your lawsuit said at some point she stopped paying any rent, she stopped paying any bills. She was basically a squatter because you were no longer a couple. So you have to tell me when that happened, in what month.
I couldn't tell you exactly what month, Your Honor, because, for example, all of last year I paid for every month. Even some
No,
of these bills that
listen-
she speaks of, Your Honor, the cable bill, the gas bill,
Listen to
I
me.
paid those as well.
I don't care. As long as you're in a couple relationship and enjoying each other, sharing a bedroom, sharing a life together, doing things together as a couple, I don't care whether she paid the rent or she didn't pay the rent. Then you're no longer a couple and no longer have the perks of the relationship. No longer go out to dinner together, go to a movie together, snuzzle at night together. She might even bring a new boyfriend. Is that a new boyfriend? Might even bring a new boyfriend home at night. So at that point, that person is no longer your girlfriend or your partner. She becomes your roommate. Once she becomes your roommate, she's got to pay her bills. So I'm going to ask you again, in what month after November of 2015 did she stop paying rent?
In November.
Okay, and when did she? So November, Thanksgiving, since she remembers what date it was that you finally had a blow up, was Thanksgiving Day. That's the end of November. So you have December, January, February, March, April, May, and you moved out when in June?
June 1st.
6 months rent. And the rent was $750?
That's right.
Now, I suppose if I asked you whether you had any proof that you paid rent after starting in December, you would say I did not pay rent.
I can say that, yes.
Okay, so you did not pay rent. So now you're going to show me, I assume, consistent with what your position was, all the paid bills that you paid in December for gas, electric, and cable.
Correct.
Okay, let's start with December.
And on there, it looks like I just paid the energy bill for that month.
So you paid only energy bills the month of December?
For that specific
Just a
month.
second. So that somebody else had to pay the cable, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you get no credit for that. Great. Now, what about January?
January of 2016, I have a check stub here that I wrote to Ryan for $375, including some...
That. Did you receive any rent? This is all crossed out. This is not a check.
It's the carbon copy of the check, Your Honor.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't at all. It's a carbon copy of nothing. It's a carbon copy of something that you wrote yesterday. What's next? February.
Okay, well, I have a carbon copy also for $375 that I wrote to Ryan.
That you wrote
for
yesterday.
rent.
Go ahead. I want to see a canceled check. You know what a canceled check is from a bank?
I do not.
How old are you?
32.
Well, if you're 32 years old, you should know what a canceled check is from a bank. Go.
Is that the same
Next.
voided
Next.
check? Okay.
Next.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Pursuant to an arrangement that you testified to earlier, where he paid all of the rent and you paid the utility bills. Then you had a big fight. It was clearly a hostile environment. And then you decided to pay your half of the rent. Is that what you want me to believe?
And later today,
She's a pizza delivery person?
Yes.
In whose car was she delivering pizzas?
In her car.
Well, what were you doing there?
Helping her.
Helping her how?
She needed a babysitter.
So you had the baby in the car?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe a word you just said to me.
Real People, Judge Judy. Ryan Riemann Schneider says ex-girlfriend Katherine Anderson owes for rent after she broke up with him and refused to move out.
What you say, actually, Miss Anderson, is so totally unbelievable because your whole case was that you never paid your half of the rent because that was your agreement. Your agreement was he paid all of the rent and you paid the rest of the bills. So now I'm asking you to show me the bills that you paid. January, February, March, April, and May. The other bills, so far you have nothing. Because you paid one electric bill for December, but then he had to cover the other utilities. And he also paid the rent, which you did not. So let's move on.
For February and March, I actually do have some proof here that I did pay for the gas and the electricity bills.
And what about the cable?
Cable...
Oh, it's not
I do
an answer. You don't have, so he paid the cable.
Your Honor, can I say something?
No, it's not necessary.
Okay.
Not necessary. You paid the gas and the electric, so he paid the cable. So you didn't fulfill your end of the obligation.
Correct.
What's next? March, April, May. Let's go.
I have a lot of carbon copies of the checks that apparently aren't working here. So I don't know. I mean,
so
can
all
I
of a
explain
sudden,
myself?
let me understand something.
Yeah.
So almost 3 years you lived together where he paid all of the rent, because that's what it also says in your answer, and you paid the utility bills. Then you had a big fight in November. Neither one of you wanted to move. It was clearly a hostile environment, right? And then you decided to pay your half of the rent.
Yeah.
Is that what you want me to believe?
Some months I did, some months I didn't.
No, but you have carbon copies for every month. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $22.50. We're done.
Parties are excused and they step out.
How was I supposed to make her leave?
If he had a problem with me not paying rent, I don't understand why he's suing me now.
Am I supposed to evict my own ex-girlfriend from the lease?
I brought a guy that I was seeing at the time over.
It's a very rude thing to do.
That was the trigger point for him to sue me.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Chapman versus Boyd. Step forward.
Louise Chapman is suing her former friend, Stephanie Boyd, for damage to her car's sunroof.
Miss Chapman, how long have you and Miss Boyd been friends?
I've known Stephanie Boyd for about 15 years, 16 years.
And you have children, is that right?
Yes, I have two kids, one 10 and one is going on 2 years old.
And there came a time when you needed a place to stay.
Yes.
When was that?
This is around, I say, the end of June, around beginning of July.
Of last year?
Yes, ma'am.
And she invited, and when Miss Boyd invited you into her home in June or July, you weren't paying any rent?
No.
No rent. How long did you stay with her?
I stayed with her up until, I say, around March.
So, let's say 9 months.
Yes.
And during those 9 months, she paid the rent. It was her house?
No, it was not. No, it was another friend of mine. it was her house. So we were all roommates, and she was paying the rent.
Who was paying the rent?
The other friend, her name was Celia.
You weren't paying any rent.
This was prior to I moved out of my home. When she first ran back into me, I had my own apartment at the time.
I'm talking about in July. Where were you living? With whom?
We were staying with our friend Celia.
The two of you?
Yes.
In July?
Yes.
And did that continue until March?
Yes.
Who paid the rent?
Celia.
You did not pay rent either?
No.
Just for my own information, why would your friend Celia cover the two of you for rent?
My lease was up on my apartment, and so in between homes, I asked her if I could stay with her. She said if push comes to shove, I have a second room. No one's in there. You're more than welcome to come. And at that time, Louise was also with me.
She was with you?
Well, she was, I guess, stayed a night, went back to wherever she was, and then came back, stayed a couple nights, and then she was staying with another friend of hers in North St. We both moved in. Cece had invited me, and she kind of came.
What month?
This was July, the beginning of July.
Okay. So had you been staying with Miss Boyd before that?
No, I was
in her
not.
apartment?
No, I was not staying with her in her apartment. No, I was not.
You still didn't answer my question as to why Celia would...
Because she was my best friend at the time.
Okay, and you came along for the ride?
Yes.
All right, fine. This is what the case is about. It is your claim that Ms. Boyd broke the sunroof on your car. You want her to pay for it?
Yes.
Ms. Boyd says you broke that yourself. Okay, so tell me when she broke the sunroof on your car.
She broke the sunroof on my car around the month of September.
September of last year?
Yes, we had an agreement that as long as, since we were both staying with Celia, as long as I was working, that she would transport my daughter back and forth to daycare as long as she was able to use my car to also get back and forth to, I say, business meetings, and also to transport her cookies. She was doing a cookie business that she had.
So the deal was she could use your car to transport your daughter, to take your daughter, because you were working.
Yes.
Fine. So this happened in September. Tell me what happened in September.
Okay. She dropped me off at to daycare, and she went to pick her up. When she came back to pick me up, she tells me, Louise, I dropped a pin inside of the sliding track of your sunroof. And she said, I forgot to get the pin out, and I tried to close your sunroof, and it made a noise. I say, did you get the pin out, though? She said, yes, I got the pin out. So now your sunroof won't close.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
After this incident, you lived together September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. So my question is, why almost a year later are you suing her?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Louise Chapman says former friend Stephanie Boyd damaged her sunroof. She is suing for the cost to fix it.
Okay, how did that happen?
I was helping her while she was on the clock. She was a delivery driver for a pizza company that's in St. Louis.
I don't care about that. I want to know how the pen got stuck in the sunroof. Don't look there. Here.
We were all making a police report. We were all riding on top of the vehicles, and the officers and maybe one other person.
Why were you making a police report?
Because an incident had happened at her job that day while I was working with her that needed a police report.
What
That's
incident?
not true, Your Honor.
She got hit by a car while she was on the job, and we had to come back to make a police report.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I don't want you to say anything. You see how she let you talk? No, I want to go further. This is in September of 2015.
Yes, ma'am.
She got hit by a car.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I want you to remember, this is very easy to figure out. Mm-hmm. She called you?
No, I was working with her. She was working as a delivery driver, and we were driving. I was helping her babysit her child because she didn't have a sitter at the time.
No. She's a pizza delivery person?
Yes.
In whose car was she delivering pizzas?
In her car.
Well, what were you doing there?
Helping her.
Helping her how?
Because she could not see at night at the time, and she needed a babysitter.
So you had the baby in the car?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe a word you just said to me.
It's very true.
You have a police report?
The police report, I do not have. No, I do not have it with me.
You have a police report?
No, it was one made.
Just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Did you have an attorney?
No, Your Honor.
Was there a lawsuit filed against anyone in that accident?
No, Your Honor, because that's not true.
What's not true?
what she just got through describing.
Just a second. I'm asking you a question.
At all.
Okay. So this sunroof broke as a result of somebody dropping a pen on the top of the car.
Yes.
Okay, getting into. And my question to you, Miss Chapman, is after this incident, you lived together in the home September, October, November, December, January, February, and March.
Yes.
So my question is, why almost a year later are you suing her? You lived together. She continued to use your car to transport your daughter, continued to take her to daycare. You worked, baked cookies, lived in the house together. Why a year later are we here?
Due to the fact because I still needed someone to watch my kid, and she didn't move out the house until February of 2016, and she gave me the runaround saying that she would pay for the sunroof. And I was working only a temp job, so I tried saving up money to get the sunroof fixed. But while trying to save up money to get the sunroof fixed, I was also right along with helping Celia with bills and also house materials for the house at the same time. So that was all hard at one time.
When was the sunroof?
May of this year, because I wound up getting an actual stable job instead of a temp job.
I'd like to see photographs of the broken sunroof.
I don't have pictures of the broken sunroof.
Well, but you could see it was broken, correct?
Yes, I could see that it was broken.
Yeah, I assume that if you felt as if she was responsible, you would use that iPhone that you've got there to take a picture of it if you thought you might sue her.
That I should have, but I didn't take pictures of the broken sunroof.
You certainly should have.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Can I see the bill that you had to fix it? Oh, Bert, can I have your glasses? I think I left mine inside. Am I going to be blind from your glasses? Does that say 580.58?
Got my glasses. 580.58, exactly.
Great.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't care who broke it. She literally came to me and was like, I broke your sunroof.
Obviously, somebody left a pin up there. We get in the car. She pushes the button. Crack. Oh, snap.
How did you forget you dropped the pin in her?
Life is life.
As they say in the world, nothing is free.
You have a common property line.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's been some difficulty.
Neighbors in a land war.
You did a survey.
She said that my survey was wrong. She didn't agree with it, and so she went ahead and built a fence on it.
The fence that she built was on your property, and you forced her to take it down.
Can the judge knock down barriers to peace?
If this is what is occupying your time, I think that you probably both need to be on some serious medication.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Christine Boisier is suing her neighbor, Elizabeth Allen, for damages resulting from the construction of a fence.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 154 on the calendar in the matter of Boisier versus Allen. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Boisier, how long have you lived in your home?
We moved in July 4th, 1999.
And how long have you been in your home?
End of October last year, 2015.
And you are neighbors. Your properties are adjacent to each other. Is that correct?
Her property sits behind mine.
It sits behind yours, but it touches
Yes, ma'am.
your property. You have a common property line.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct? And there's been some difficulty, I gather. Your complaint is that the defendant built part of a fence on your property to enclose her property.
Yes, ma'am.
You did a survey.
Yes, ma'am.
That survey indicated that the fence that she built was on your property.
Yes, ma'am.
And you forced her to take it down.
Yes, ma'am.
Who took it down, by the way?
I don't know, ma'am.
You don't know who took it down. Somebody took it down. Either you took it down or you had a fence company take it down. And in taking it down, that the poles of your property were damaged and had to be repaired. In addition, you think that Miss Allen should pay for the survey that you were forced to do.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a problem because you say that you also had to do a survey.
Yes, ma'am.
To counter the plaintiff's survey.
Yes,
so you want her to pay for your survey. And something about the removal of some trees that both the plaintiff and other neighbors objected to, that you were planning to remove the trees. The plaintiff and some other neighbors became tree huggers, wouldn't let them remove the trees. You want them to pay for that. Okay, so let's deal with it relatively quickly. I'm not awarding either of you anything for conducting a survey of your property. I happen to think that that's always a very good idea. You are a new neighbor, and if there are any issues with regard to the property and the property lines, you should conduct a survey. Similarly, if you have an issue with a neighbor to protect your property, and the fence that she built is in the rear of your property?
Yes, ma'am. She contested the first survey that we did have done.
That's okay. She is permitted to do that. How large a parcel of property do you have, Miss Boysher?
0.225 acres.
And how large a piece of property?
I'm not exactly sure the exact.
Is it an acre? Is it 2 acres? Is it?
No, I'd say it's probably it's less than half an acre.
This fence that's at the back of your property, is that fence visible from your house?
Yes.
How much of an encroachment was there?
May I show you?
Yes.
The first fence that she attempted to build was from the point of her lot over to our fence on this side. The survey then showed that she was encroaching over here. So she, in turn, went and built a fence here. That's what this line is right here, and just attached to our fence. Probably, I would say, maybe less than a foot here, and increases up to a little bit more than a foot at this. It's a pie shape.
So it's minimal.
Yes.
Step back. So that the only thing that I'm actually now interested in on your side is evidence of the damaged posts that you say existed as a result of her removing the fence.
Well, when she had the fence removed, we were home, my husband and I at the time.
So you knew who removed the fence?
I don't know who. I mean,
there were other people. It wasn't the defendant.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so it was a company.
I don't know. It was just.
Who removed the fence?
My fence company, and it wasn't actually a fence. It was one board that was moved. The fence is still there. It's been built. But she had stated that it was across her property line. It's right on the property line, the piece of board. It's one board that was removed. Okay. It's not actually a fence.
Okay, do you have a picture of that?
No, I do not.
Okay, so your fence people removed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now I want to see proof that that post was damaged as a result of the removal of that board. Let me see.
I have, the first picture is the her fence post that's right next to my fence post. This one shows where it was bent. And the third picture shows a little bit better where the post is broke off at the bottom when they installed the fence post on her lot. It damaged mine. The main cable line was in that area, and they cut that too because none of the utilities had been previously marked when she put the fence up.
So am I correct that...
It's the second post in, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
This one?
Yes, ma'am. The second post in is the one that was busted. And it's in direct line with the post that I guess her fence people put up.
Can I see a picture? I haven't even seen a picture. I don't even know about a post.
Are you talking about this split in the...
No, ma'am. The post itself...
Oh, I see.
The post itself was...
You're talking about down here?
Yeah, the post itself was broke when they erected her fence on her property.
Would you show these to the defendant, please? Anything else? Anything else?
Thank you.
The survey, I just feel that...
Survey? I don't care what you feel.
Well,
you have a survey for your own property.
She contested my survey. That's why I had to have a second survey.
Good.
Because she contested it. But she knew the property lines because her survey was done.
Don't tell me what she knew.
Well...
Okay. Now, Miss Allen, I don't actually see such a big deal when you're talking about less than a foot of property that should create bad feeling and animus between two neighbors that are going to have to live together. So I actually don't understand it, but you're certainly entitled to bring a lawsuit if you feel as if your property has been encroached upon. And clearly, had it been encroached upon, she knew she had to move it. She moved it. You want to do a survey, second survey? She asked for it. Somebody else.
Oh, ma'am.
Were you involved with the town? at
No.
all? Were you involved with any authority?
No, it's just when she contested that survey, the original survey.
When you say she contested, that usually is a legal term.
She said that my survey was wrong. She
Oh.
didn't agree with it,
Okay.
and so she went ahead and built a fence on it. After that, then I obtained a survey to show that she was wrong.
Okay, and you fixed it because she
Well, I
went-
actually never knew she had a survey in the beginning. I had got my own
I don't
survey.
care. You want to tell me about the trees now?
Yeah, and I don't... And
You want to tell me about the trees?
Yes, ma'am. I have trees on the other side of my property, and when I was trying to build my fence, that's when the issue became over my property line. I already have evidence here. I spoke with the HOA and got approval for this fence before I even
Just a
purchased
second.
my house.
I'm not concerned about the fence anymore. Now we're talking
Okay.
about your tree.
Okay, well, where the trees are at is where I tried to originally build my fence. The plaintiff was with my neighbor and telling my neighbors that those trees, per her survey, were not on my actual property line, that they were the neighbor's property.
That they were on whose property?
My neighbor's property.
Somebody else's property,
Correct.
not hers.
Correct. So she was informing them that they weren't. So,
that they were not your trees
Correct.
to take down.
Correct. That they were the neighbor's
belonged
trees.
to some other neighbor.
Yes, ma'am.
Based upon her survey.
Yes, ma'am.
And
as I was trying to remove the trees, the plaintiff and the neighbors got in the middle of where the tree to move all the trees. They stood in the way of their work.
Okay. Because according to her survey, those trees were on a neighbor's property line.
Yeah, but it was incorrect. They were not per the survey.
That just, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else?
I do have a video showing where they were trying to get in the way of
I
the
don't
fence
care.
and everything being built.
I don't care.
Okay.
My sense is that these people are not erratic nuts, that there was a legitimate belief that those are not your trees to cut down, and I assume that you eventually cut down the trees.
Most of them, they're still half there. I couldn't finish the work. I paid a tree company.
So that you did not cut down the trees
Only half of them.
that are contested. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You did not cut down the trees that are contested. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right. I don't see any major damage there, actually, as a result of any fence. I can't tell whether that was done before, after, whether it was cut. I don't see any major damage, and certainly the fence is certainly upright. And you have no case on a counterclaim. We're done. If you can't live together in these terrible times, if this is what is occupying your time, a foot, a tree, a half a foot post, then I think that you probably both need to be on some serious medication. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
If she would have just came to our back,
They harassed me for a really long time. I finally built my fence between us.
it probably would have been solved outside of court.
I don't have to see them, like she said. I have neighbors on the other side.
Oh, the neighbors we're all on our side.
They're welcoming me there, so.
I kind of feel bad because they all kind of took our side. And
Know your rights, and when you deal with crazy people, just don't stop.
she's kind of out in the cold there, but wrong is wrong.
Yeah, stick up for your rights.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Lacey versus Coleman. Step forward.
Gordon Lacey is suing Scott Coolman for the return of a trailer.
Mr. Lacey, let me try to understand what happened. You had a trailer. Do you have a picture of that trailer?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it. And the trailer was stolen on what date?
It was over the weekend of August 2015.
Where had it been parked, sir?
It was at my warehouse.
This is the trailer?
That's a building that was at the place that fabricated it for me to meet my needs.
No, I'm just asking you, to me, a trailer is a different thing. So this just carries something.
Yes.
You used it to transport things.
Transport a tow motor, yes, ma'am.
Okay. It was stolen from your warehouse in August of 2015. And when did you report it stolen?
Reported it stolen the 24th. That was a Monday. Yes, ma'am.
May I see it? Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He pulled up next to you. I assume he said something like, "That's my trailer."
Yeah, he just asked me to pull into a gas station.
Tell me about the conversation that you had with the plaintiff when he pulled into the gas station.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gordon Lacey is accusing Scott Coolman of possessing a trailer that belongs to him.
Okay. Subsequently, who saw a trailer that you thought was yours?
I did.
When?
October 9th, around 8:45 in the morning.
Where did you see it?
I was at a red light, stopped at a red light, and the trailer had pulled up beside me.
And who was driving it?
2 men.
Was this one of the gentlemen?
He was one of them that was in the van. I'm not sure who was driving, but the
whatever
van.
he was driving was pulling the trailer.
Pulling the trailer, yes, ma'am.
Could you stand up for me? Tell me your name, please.
Jeff Nyheisel.
Who do you work for, sir?
I work for Scott.
And what kind of business is that?
We do docks and doors, welding, plant maintenance.
How long have you worked for him?
Around 10, 6 or 7 guys, I believe.
Who work full-time. So it's a substantial business.
Yes, ma'am.
And when he pulled up next to you, I assume he said something like, "That's my trailer."
Yeah, he just asked me to pull into a gas station, and I did. And he said that was his trailer. And, you know, when I pull a trailer, they just told me to hook to a trailer, and I hooked to the trailer. So that's just what I had that day.
And how many trailers does your boss have?
7 or 8, I'd say.
And when we're saying trailers that look like this, that you just put something on and you move machinery on it.
Right.
So he has 7 or 8 of those.
Yes.
Does one trailer to you look pretty much like another?
They look a lot alike. Yeah, they look a lot alike.
I mean, are they different size trailers?
Yeah, they'll pull different weights or different types of vehicles or whatever.
Do you know for sure, sir, whether or not you had ever used this particular trailer to load things and haul them before?
I have.
Tell me about the conversation that you had with the plaintiff when he pulled into the gas station.
He pulled me in there and he said that was his trailer, and I just said, well, you know, this is our company's trailer. And he called the police, and I stayed there, and they showed up, and pretty much there was no way of actually at the scene deciding whose trailer this was. Because I just work for him. So I'm just pulling the trailer. So pretty much.
That's all you know. And the trailer was confiscated.
Correct.
Subsequently, you got the trailer back.
Yes, ma'am.
I assume that you brought some proof.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you brought proof to me, but I assume you also brought proof of ownership.
This is the same thing I showed the police.
Well, this shows that you bought a trailer in 2012.
That's correct.
Well before
yes, ma'am.
His trailer was stolen, but this trailer has a different serial number.
Here's the serial number that's on the plate.
May I see it?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What I'm saying is that's a Corn Pro trailer, and this was not a Corn Pro trailer. It was a homemade trailer. So where he got this is beyond me.
Come off the trailer I purchased.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Gordon Lacey is accusing Scott Kuhlman of possessing a trailer that belongs to him.
What do you mean the serial number on the plate?
There's a VIN number, I believe. That's like an ID plate that's on the trailer.
Would you have him show me what that is? Is that this ever right here?
It should be like the VIN number, maybe. I don't know. It should say CP something, I thought.
Would you show this to him and ask him to point out what he's made reference to?
It's this number up here.
Certainly.
Which one? Oh, this.
Barely see that one right there.
Oh, I see. Mr. Kuhlman, I see what you've circled here. It looks as if it's been rubbed out, but the numbers, these are the VIN numbers that are on the trailer.
Correct.
Have you seen this, sir?
No, ma'am.
Well, I'd like to show it to you. And I want you to look at the VIN number on the trailer and compare it to the purchase date and the certificate of registration that he has from, he said he purchased it in 2012. Take a look. See where the numbers are light?
Yes, ma'am.
The same.
I have no idea. I mean,
well,
what I'm saying is that's a Corn Pro trailer, and this was not a Corn Pro. This is beyond me.
Come off the trailer I purchased.
Maybe you bought this, but it wasn't this trailer that we're speaking of. This is a totally different trailer than this. You have 7 or 8 trailers, so it could be one of his trailers. I'm not saying it's not, but it's not the trailer in question.
What they did is when they released the trailer to them, they looked on the trailer And this was on the trailer.
No, ma'am, it wasn't. Not on my trailer.
Well, but it was on his trailer.
Yes, ma'am, it is, with the
and
license
he didn't
plate.
put it on the trailer. Listen to me. He didn't put this on the trailer, sir. It was there the day it was confiscated.
No, ma'am.
Well, it was, sir.
The
Because
police couldn't find it. That was the whole issue. That's why they confiscated the trailer, because there was no identification.
That's what you're telling me.
Yes.
That's not what I know from any report. Do you have a report that says that the reason they confiscated the trailer is because there was no identification on it? Do you have a report that says that?
Not a report. That's what the police officer said.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed caption. Been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Your case is dismissed, sir. The proof that he served me was perfectly satisfactory to me to demonstrate that I cannot make a determination by the required quantum of proof here that this man either bought stolen property or is responsible for stealing your trailer. The VIN number that was attached to the trailer, albeit scratched out, albeit somebody tried to get the black number off it, but if you look at it, it is totally consistent with this document, which shows that it was purchased in 2012 by his company. By the way, if it was stolen from you, was it insured?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
It just wasn't. It just wasn't. I have 2 or 3 trailers, and
You
only
have
one
how
has-
many?
2 or 3. I have 3 trailers.
What do you use your 3 trailers for?
One's a box trailer, one is a high heavy equipment trailer, and this one was for hauling my forklift. Sole purpose I bought it was to haul my forklift.
Forklifts, which means you have a business.
Yes, ma'am. I buy and sell restaurants.
So, which means you have a business. And is what you're telling me that your business does not have insurance?
My vehicles, my trucks, it does. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think that you should seriously consider increasing your insurance. Case is dismissed. Good day.
Thank you. Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I saw it. I built the trailer. It was custom made, and it pulled up beside me at the light, and that's my trailer.
I bought the trailer in 2012. I had the right documentation.
Whatever he showed the judge was something that totally bogus.
Police released it. The judge obviously seen that. She made the right decision as well.
Lie, lie, lies. All the guy said was lies.
Pretty frustrating over the last couple months.
Somebody in the neighborhood stole it. It wasn't locked up.
Keep it locked up. I've had them stolen too.
Lock it up.
It happens all the time.
A boat owner expected top quality seating on the cheap.
Are you a reupholsterer?
I trained under the man that built John F. Kennedy's furniture.
But he wasn't comfortable with the result.
He said he was a master craftsman. He made me think he was the Picasso of upholstery.
Can he get the judge to bail him out?
But all along, he's acting like he's a boat expert. Oh, I know, I know.
Maybe he's not the master upholsterer that he thought he was.
But you get what you pay for.
That's right.
Judge Judy. Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Matthew Barnhill is suing upholsterer Ted Adams for damaging his boat.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom.
It's case number 219 on the calendar in the matter Barnhill versus Adams.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, huh?
Mr. Barnhill, it is your claim that the defendant to whom you brought a boat to be reupholstered damaged the boat.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant has a counterclaim. He says that you defamed him in his business and he's lost business as a result. Mr. Adams, let me just ask you, sir, is this what you do for a living? Are you a reupholsterer?
Yes, ma'am. I've done it for 33 years. I trained under the man that built John F. Kennedy's furniture.
You just reupholster boats?
No, I do furniture, automotive as well.
Is it your own business?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you employ anyone other than yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
How many people?
2.
Are they full-time employees?
Part-time.
Either one of these 2 people your employees?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they both your employees?
Yes, ma'am.
So these are the 2 people. What is your last name?
Geyer.
How long has she been working for you?
A couple months.
This gentleman, when did he start working for you?
About a year ago.
Prior to this young lady starting to work for you, how many employees did you have?
I keep average 2 on
A week?
Anywhere from 20 to 30 hours a week.
Just enough so that you don't have to pay anybody benefits or anything else, right? Okay, good. Okay, Mr. Barnhill, where did you get this boat?
I think that I found it on Craigslist maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
And the boat itself is 20 years old.
Yes, ma'am.
How large a boat is it?
It's a 17.8 foot.
When did you bring the boat to Mr. Adams' shop?
I first took it to his shop on February 22nd to get an...
February 22nd?
Yes, ma'am. And that was to get him to appraise it.
Prior to February 22nd of 2016, I want you to listen carefully to my question. When was the last time this boat had been in the water?
The end of the summer, maybe a couple months. I mean, I'd been using it constantly.
Okay. So you took it to his shop, got an appraisal?
Yes. And after that appraisal, I wasn't too sure about the price that he gave me, so I took it to another shop in Greensboro. They said that they couldn't get nowhere near the price that he offered me.
Okay. And what price did he offer you to reupholster?
The job was actually for him to take everything apart and off the boat, reupholster it, and put everything back together and in the boat in its place. Okay. And the price for that was $2,200.
That seems like a very, very reasonable price. How much did the other place want?
They wouldn't even tell me a price. I told them what his price was, and they said, we can't touch it. You should take it back to him. But you get what you pay for.
Just a second. That's right. On what date?
The very next day, February the 23rd. And at that time, when I pulled in his shop, I was corresponding with him through phone. He met me out in the front of his shop, and he told me to pull it around the back. He told me to back it into a position where I backed it into. However, he had me back it up a hill like this. And like any boat, pretty much on the face of this planet, your drain hole's in the back. Your boat has to be elevated, the front of the boat, to where any water that goes in it flushes out the back drain hole. Notified him of that, but all along, he's acting like he's a boat expert. Oh, I know, I know. And I said, well, I brought some center blocks. I've got a bad back. I can't lift the front of this trailer. But I've got these center blocks, so it needs to be elevated. And he had 2 employees standing off to the side, and he said, I'll have those guys do it. I'll have them take care of that. And that was that. We went inside.
Which 2 employees?
Neither one of them. Every time I've been to a shop, he's had different people there. So, but and at that time he said, I'll have them lift it up and put the center blocks under it. Don't worry about it. We went in his shop, we did the paperwork, and I gave him the $1,200 down.
Okay, so the job was $2,200, and now, sir, I want you to tell me what you're suing him for.
Just the quality of the work he did. I brought a piece as an example. One of the main things, if I could show that to you, is that the first thing that I have to show is that he used metal staples, and we all know that metal rusts when it gets wet. This is a boat, you're going to get it wet. And I brought a magnet just to prove that these staples are magnetic. He was supposed to use stainless steel staples, which are not magnetic, they don't rust. So all of these staples, just even from this angle, you can just see, you see these trim lines. You've got this one here. Look at how the alignment of this one. You got the yellow here, and then the yellow here. Everything's off. Every single piece is just out of whack. Like I told him in our phone conversation, it looked like a teenage apprentice did my boat. And when I inquired
of him, had a $2,200 job.
Yeah, but when I inquired of him, he was talking about, I've been doing this for 30 years. I'm the best in the business. And
Your Honor.
Just wait 1 second. That's the job he did for you for $2,200.
Yes.
And you're going to use the boat with those seats.
Well,
for a season or maybe 2. And the next time you want to have this 20-year-old boat reupholstered, if you ever want to do it again, you'll take it to somebody who says, I can touch that. You want a $2,200 job? Go get a $2,200 job. You're going to get seams that don't exactly match, and you may not get the right kind of staples. But would you turn that seat around so I could see the top of it? Because nobody looks at the bottom of the seat. People look at the top of the seat.
But I would not have hired him if I would have known that was going to be the quality. He said he was a master craftsman. He made me think he was the Picasso of upholstery.
Listen to me. That's what we call puffing.
Yes, exactly.
And you are not an unintelligent man, thanks, Bert. You're not an unintelligent man, sir. So if I take it to another upholsterer who wants your business, and they say to you, I can't even touch that, I would say, well, so I would think about it. Seats don't look bad to me.
Yeah. Your Honor.
Just a second.
Sorry.
Does it sound as if you're losing? Why would you want to say anything to me?
I just want to show you some more boat seats like that.
Just a second. I don't care. I'm looking at the seat. He's going to use those seats on the boat, and he may not be able to use them for 5 years. Maybe he'll only be able to use them for 3 years or 2 years. And then if he wants to have them redone, he'll take them to somebody else. Well, certainly work was done on those.
And also, the job entitled, like I'd said, he was supposed to put everything back together. He called me whenever he was done. Your stuff's done. And everything was sitting in the floor of his shop. And I said, our original agreement was you were supposed to put it back in my boat. He said, well, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Did you put it all back?
No. I don't know how. I didn't take it apart, so I don't know how to put it back together.
Just a second. So where is the boat?
My boat is sitting in my yard stripped, and all of the upholstery is stuffed in any spot I can find it. Every upholstery piece, I've got some stuffed in my SUV, some stuffed in my carport. I don't know how he took it apart because I wasn't there. There's several pieces that have to be reassembled. He sent me boxes of hinges and screws. He took my speakers off. I've got cut wires.
Well, that's a problem. Now you have a problem. Now I may let you speak, Mr. Adams. Why didn't you put the boat back?
I have a back issue, and I told him that I wouldn't be able to do it myself. If he wanted to help me to do it, I'd be more than happy to help him do it.
No. That doesn't wash me. One of these two people doesn't have back issues.
Neither.
Boat in February. This was the end of August.
He had stalled it all this time to get the other parts so I could put the boat seats together. He made new wood for all the seats.
Just a second. Who did?
He did. Here's the picture.
Just a second. So is what he's telling me that the reason that the boat was there from February to August, at least part of the reason, that he couldn't use the existing seats on the boat and that you ordered new seats, the wood for the boat?
Fabricated them myself because he wanted to charge me extra money because the wood was rotten. And he said, bring more money, this wood's rotten. And I said, instead of giving you more money,
just a second,
I'll just redo the wood myself.
That's fine. So the wood was rotten for the seats.
Several of them.
I'm going to take a look at his pictures.
And here's all the text messages with it. To the left of that one picture is the rotted wood sitting in a chair.
He acknowledges that the wood was rotten,
and there were several pieces that were found.
What were you receiving workman's comp for?
Back injury I received on the job.
So how'd you make these new seats?
A friend did all the cutting.
A friend did all
He did all the cutting. I did the coating with the polyurethane myself. But the very last pieces, I did myself. But he had just taken them off the boat. So he's still pulling pieces off the boat that need to be reupholstered.
I'm reading the email, sir.
Okay.
That you were waiting for your check.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And that was the delay.
Yep.
You were waiting for the check.
That was a 2-week delay out of 5 months.
Now, you have a counterclaim.
Yes, ma'am.
Your counterclaim is for defamation, actually.
I've lost a lot of money.
Well, I don't know that, whether you have or not. You want to show me how he's defamed you and in what form that defamation?
I'd like to see this.
What are you showing me?
The one on the left is where a gentleman came in the same day. He picked his boat seats up and filled out the invoice to have his done, same amount of seats. And after he went out front, he never showed back up to get it done.
I don't know whether
that never even took place.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
tell me what happened and how it came about that you got possession of the car.
He took it to a dirt lot, took the valve core stems out of his tires, threw the keys in the desert and said, go get your car. I'm going to get my money back or else. I got it, proof of it.
Judge Judy. Matthew Barnhill says upholsterer Ted Adams performed a substandard job on his boat. Ted is countersuing for defamation and lost wages.
Mr. Burnhill, I suggest you put your boat back together again. Do you understand? You're not getting $5,000. You're not even getting your $2,200 back from him. Your seats were reupholstered. That's what you brought them in for. There was the delay in getting the boat back, based upon the emails that I read, was as much your fault as his. You didn't have the cash. You were waiting for a workman's comp check, so you needed money. That's what it all says here. And you sort of strung him along. You went to the shop the day before you went and brought him money, and there's no animus here, by the way, in these last emails in August.
Okay, but as far as the storage of my boat and my floor being rotted out.
You get what you pay for. The seats were rotted out before you brought them in.
That's not the floor, though. I had the floor redone the year before. I've got receipts from that. That's a new floor. I just had that floor redone the year before. And if he would have stored it properly, that wouldn't have happened.
You went and examined the boat. You were there the day before you went and paid for the boat. You said absolutely nothing about that in your emails to him. Absolutely nothing. Your case is dismissed. So is your counterclaim. You have no cause of action. You understand that?
I feel sorry for him. He didn't have much money to work with. He said he wasn't even working. He was down with his back.
Probably a couple months into it, but at this time I'd already paid him some money.
I thought, well, okay, I'll help you out. I'll do it for this price.
And, you know, I was kind of walking on eggshells with him because I didn't want to upset him because he had my boat.
The guy's an idiot.
You live and you learn.
He's trying to scam somebody is what it was.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kimball Vecchione versus Marconi. Step forward.
Charles Kimball and his fiancée, Patricia Vecchione, are suing Jeffrey Marconi for the return of car payments and repair costs.
Would you do me a favor while I'm inquiring of these people? Would you take a look and tell me the present value of a 1996 Ford Explorer Sport?
Got it.
Thank you. Now, the two of you purchased a car from the defendant, this 1996 Ford Explorer Sport. You were selling it, sir, for $1,200?
Yes, Your Honor, I don't...
That requires a yes or a no. But when the plaintiffs found the car through you online, you made an arrangement with them that it was either $1,200 in cash for the car, or if they wanted to make payments on the car, which is what they wanted to do, they didn't have.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the Blue Book value of the car is?
$875.
$875. So they purchased the car and they gave you a down payment, and the down payment was $500. Right. On what date was that?
July 31st, 2015.
And you took possession of this 20-year-old truck?
Yes.
Now, the first thing I want to know is, why would you pay $2,500 for a car that's worth $875?
Well, we felt at the time we couldn't get finance to a car dealership, and even if we did, we would have paid double what the car was worth anyway.
Well, this is actually 3 times as much as the car it's worth.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How do you figure the car's worth $875? Because of a Blue Book said Blue Books don't buy cars.
Yes, okay.
People buy cars. You know what a set of tires cost for a car?
Don't ask me any questions.
Excuse me?
I said don't ask me questions. I don't answer your questions.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Charles Kimball and fiancée Patricia Vecchione claim Jeffrey Marconi scammed them into returning an SUV they were purchasing from him. Jeffrey is countersuing for damages to the vehicle.
All right, so you gave him $500. When did you make your next payment?
Next payment was on September 3rd.
And how much did you give him then?
$500.
Is that correct?
As far as I remember, it was $250.
Do you have proof that you gave him $500?
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to see it.
Yes. This is all the car payments.
Would you please show this to the defendant, Bird? I've just compared your signature to the answer.
Yeah, but the rest of the thing that was written on there is gone.
What does it say, sir?
Well, it says he gave me $500, but the rest of it that was written on there is gone.
Who cares?
Okay.
I mean, but that's what it says.
It was important what it said on there. He actually only gave me $250 cash.
And what was the other $250?
He bought a part online, and he said, hey, I think you're responsible for it. Okay, I'll take the other $250. Like, you give me $500 cash, I'll take another $250 off.
Fine. So this says... You signed it. It says $500 payment.
Sure. It's equivalent to the same thing. Means the same
It's equivalent to the same thing. So,
yes,
no, so far, you have $1,000. Did you make any other payment? And what did you pay on October 1st?
We paid him $100, which was supposed to be a $250 payment, but because we sank...
Whatever. You paid him $100. So
Yes.
now you've paid him $1,100. Did you make any other payments?
No other car payments.
At some point, the car was either repossessed or you left it for him. How did that come about?
He threatened that he was going to call the cops and report it stolen if we did not give it back to him because he was bugging us for money, and we told him the payment wasn't due until November 3rd, and he wasn't having no part of that. He wanted money right then and there, or he wanted his vehicle.
Your Honor, he's telling stories out his backside.
Just a second. Just a second. Well, tell me what happened and how it came about that you got possession of the car.
Okay, can I go back to the payment?
No.
Okay.
No, so far he's paid you $1,100. That's all he's paid.
Yes, Your Honor.
And now we're in late October. On what date do you take physical possession of the car?
Well, I got evidence to that.
Just a second. Just tell me on what date
He
did
took
you...
it to a dirt lot, took the valve core stems out of his tires, threw the keys in the desert and said, go get your car. I'm going to get my money back or else. I got proof of it.
Just a second. So you went and got the car?
Yes, Your Honor. We had to go with a tow man. Tires were flat.
I don't
cut
care,
up.
sir. Right now, you've got $1,100 on a car with a blue book value of $800. So far, you've gotten $1,100. I said, don't ask me questions. I don't answer your questions.
Hard of hearing.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So far, you've gotten $1,100 on a car that's worth $875.
How do you figure the car's worth $875? Because of a blue book says blue books don't buy cars.
Yes, okay.
People buy cars.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
According to what I read in your complaint, you returned the car after you had it August, September, and October. So you drove the car for 3 months.
Yes.
Where is the car now?
I sold it for parts because it was destroyed.
Okay. And how much did you get for it?
$300.
So far, you've received $1,400 for the car.
Well, tires cost $800.
Well, then you're a fool for spending $800
How am I a fool?
for
You
tires.
price tires, Your Honor?
$1,400 for an $875 car. So what I'm doing is I'm dismissing your counterclaim. Your counterclaim...
Why is that?
Well, you have to pay attention, sir.
I'm trying.
Good. Pay attention because you want the remainder of the $2,500
Absolutely.
that he agreed
I got a
to.
written contract.
Great. Good.
It's
You're not
plain
getting
English.
it.
Yeah.
It's usurious. Now, $100 a month is fair.
Excuse
I
me?
think... I'm not speaking to you.
Oh, I thought you were still speaking to me.
No, I'm not looking at you. I mean, I know that you're hard of hearing. Do you have a problem with your eyesight as well?
No.
Good. When I'm looking at you, you'll know it. So I'm giving the defendant a credit for $300. I think he's a bit of a scammer.
You think so?
I'm not looking at you. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $800.
Excuse me, Your
Counterclaims
Honor.
dismissed.
I got a paper that's drying paper on a contract.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I think she made a fair decision. I think we would deserve more money of what we put into it because we were a scam.
No, I didn't scam nobody. He wanted the car. He agreed to the payments.
We had the car towed to Kermit's transmission repair.
A month after he got it, he's griping about it was broke down. Not my problem.
And it sat there for 3 weeks until we were able to afford to buy a valve body for the car.
He didn't want to make his payments. He gave the car back, and then he destroyed it after he gave it back.
They put it in, we got the car back, he took it.
Hey, contract's simple, cut and dry. He signed it, he should follow it.
Be careful.
A landlord looks to take back her rented condo.
I'm not going to be putting my baby in no house with the stained carpet.
She's not putting in new carpeting anyway. You have $775 for carpet for the 2 bedrooms.
But first, this tenant and her daughter want answers.
Can I see the proof where you paid that bill?
I'm not paying it too.
You just said you paid.
I didn't say I paid for it. Mind your business.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Pamela Hill is suing her former tenant, Penny Soto, for property damage and HOA fines.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 225 on the calendar in the matter of Hill versus Soto.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Hill, you own a condominium.
Yes.
How long have you owned the condo?
Since 1996, like almost 20 years.
Did you ever reside there yourself?
Yes, I did.
From when to when?
From when I purchased it till 2013.
And what happened in 2013?
2013, I moved out and I moved with my sister. And I rented it out before I rented it to Penny. And then
in 2013, you rented it to someone? Okay. And when did Miss Soto begin renting the condo?
December of 2014.
And you evicted? When?
It was 3 months before I evicted her. Had her move out. It was 3 months before then. I gave her a 90-day notice, and then she wanted to move out in June, so I allowed her to move out in June because she was supposed to move out in July.
Did she have security deposit with you?
Yes, she did.
In what amount?
It was $1,800. 1840.
Did you return her security deposit?
No, I did not.
And you moved into an apartment right next door?
Correct, Your Honor.
And you moved back into your apartment?
Yes.
And was that your intention when you gave her the 90-day notice to move back into your apartment?
Yes.
Now you want to tell me what you're suing her for?
I'm suing her for damages that she had done to my property.
Like what kind of damages?
Like the carpet. She had the dog urinating and boo-booing on the carpet.
Did you do a walkthrough with Miss Soto?
No.
Why not?
Well, she was next door, and I wasn't giving her back her deposit because after I seen how the place was left.
When you looked in the apartment and you saw the condition of the apartment, why didn't you do a walkthrough with her?
Well, I didn't do a walkthrough with her, but I did send her the paperwork.
I'd like to see what you sent her. Miss Hill, you moved in 1996, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Had you put in all new carpet?
No. I had carpet. I had new carpet in the back bedrooms.
In what year did you put in new carpet in the 2 back bedrooms?
That would have been like 2011.
So 2 years before you rented it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 or more years ago, right?
Yeah.
And you moved in what year? 14?
Correct, Your Honor.
So you had a tenant there for a year from 13 to 14?
Yes.
Who was that tenant?
Travion.
One male?
And his girlfriend and their baby.
So 3 people, including an infant?
Yes.
And they lived there for about a year or more?
Well, he lived there, and then he ended up moving her in, and then she ended up having a baby. She was pregnant.
And the carpet in the living room, you hadn't replaced at all?
No.
So that's at least 20 years old?
No.
Well, you bought the apartment in 1996.
Well, it wasn't
this is 2016.
I put that carpet in maybe like 5 years after I had moved there.
So it's 15 years old.
I don't think it's that long, but okay. It was still in great condition.
I'd like to see pictures of the carpeting when she moved in.
Okay.
And when she moved out. That would be helpful to
These
me.
are all. And those two. This is before she moved in. Those are the before she... Who's snickering for?
When was this picture taken?
This is when
was this picture taken?
2014.
You show this to the defendant. Ask her if that's what the kitchen looked like when she moved in.
Pretty close.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Okay, now I would like to see a photograph of the kitchen when she moved out.
There you go.
I just want to ask the defendant if this is the way she left the kitchen when she moved out.
Your Honor, I have the date of
Just
when...
just a second.
when I took the
Absolutely not,
picture.
Your Honor. That's not how I left it, no.
Actually, I got the date, and I got the pictures in my phone.
I can tell you on that what date that was probably taken on, though.
Why don't you tell me?
Okay.
The 16th.
I initially was supposed to move out on the 11th. She contacted me, asked her if
10th.
I could change it into the 15th because she wanted to get the extra 2 weeks rent from Section 8. She needed the money. I said, okay, as long as my paperwork says the 11th or the 10th, as long as they're okay with it, I guess I'm okay with it.
Let me get this.
Okay, so she signed a paper. We changed the date. So then on the 11th...
Don't speak now.
And so...
Miss Hill.
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to admit that it was not up to par. On the 11th, it was kind of a mess. Yes, like that. Everything that was left there was going to go in the trash. All my stuff I was keeping was already moved into the new unit next door. I'm by myself. I didn't have a lot of help, so I was doing it little by little. She showed up on the 11th, unannounced, uninvited, illegally entered my home, I believe, when she probably took those pictures. I came back. I said, what are you doing here? I'm not, we agreed I was moving out on the 15th. Oh, well, I wasn't sure, and I have people coming to do estimates for the carpet and for the floors. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not the 15th yet. Can you please come back on the 15th, and then all my stuff will be gone by then.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have the pictures right here, and they'll tell you the date when I took them. I took them on the 16th. I took all of them on the 16th. She had a house full of stuff.
16th.
On the 16th. These, and I have the ones for the 10th, too, if you want to see those. And then I have...
Just a second. Just show me the 16th,
These are the
please.
16th. All of these.
From Thursday, June 16th.
Looks like you left a lot of stuff in the apartment that you didn't want. From the pictures that I'm looking at from the 16th.
She did ask me to come get a few things.
Is that correct?
Correct.
That you left a lot of stuff in the apartment?
A lot? No. She said, noticed it was in the closet or something. I came back and got them when she told me to.
You know, you have $2,000 of her money, more than enough to cover cleanup. She's not putting in new carpeting anywhere in this.
I didn't ask her to put in new carpet.
Well, you did. You have that here.
That's not the whole price of the carpet.
No, just, I don't.
Okay.
You have $775 for carpet for the two bedrooms. She's not putting in new carpet for the bedrooms, unless you have proof that you redid the carpet.
Well, the whole thing is she had urinated and I have pictures of the dog and urinating all over my carpet. I have a new baby in that house. I'm not going to be putting my baby in no house with no stained carpet.
You should replace the carpet.
Anyway.
She's not paying for it. The other part of the lawsuit that I do have interest in, since you already took her security deposit of $1,800, which more than covers cleanup, is the issue of homeowners association fines that you had to pay, and that was for her dog. I'd like to take a look at those. And I'd like you to tell me, did you notify her of these fines?
Yes.
Okay.
I have those on my phone, too.
Well, I have on May 1st of 2015, dog mess in common area. So they charged you $100 cleaning in common area. I would like to see the letter. Do I have the letter that they sent?
Yeah, they have the letters. I have the letters there, and also I have the picture of the dog urinating.
Okay, this is May 24th, and this you are absolutely responsible for. Board of Directors has determined that as the unit owner, she's responsible for the first floor common area carpet cleaned and the baseboards replaced where your tenant's dog has used it to defecate and urinate. That cost is $425 plus $100 for continual noncompliance by your tenant. Okay, so that's $525.
Okay.
And I have a picture of her new dog coming into my house.
I don't care about that. It's not part of this case. The drive-through gate that you hit.
No, I didn't hear that.
Okay. And so it's $525, and you hit the drive-through gate?
No, I didn't, Your Honor. I have proof from the gate company that's saying that they had to come out on a call to fix the gate because the gate hit my car. It hit my car. I did not hit the gate. I have proof right here.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
$397 is what they charged her.
And they asked
what they charged her for the gate plus $525 for your dog.
And here it is when they responded what they found.
I'd like to see it.
That's hearsay. Anybody can wrote that.
Would you show this to the plaintiff?
This is the bill.
No, read what it says.
Okay. But she had a chance to come to the HOA meeting and defend herself on that, and she never did. And I was trying to defend her on it, but they were like, no, we seen her literally pushing the car because it wouldn't go in reverse or something like that. And they literally seen her pushing the car over, and that I didn't have any choice but to pay it because it's on my ledger. Because they said she did it.
Yes.
Your Honor, I was in the car. I was in the car with her when it pushed closed on her. My mom has a hernia disc in her back. She has no way that she could even pick up or push up a gate that heavy for it to
Why
go in.
didn't she go to the homeowners association?
I was never informed, Your Honor.
Yes, she was.
And yeah, can I see the proof where you paid the bill?
I'm not paying it till.
Okay, she said she paid for it. That's all I was wondering.
You just said you paid.
I didn't say I paid for it. Mind your business.
I am.
Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
On the 17th.
I took him out on his leash to go to the mailbox, and he was in a lot of pain. And I saw her dog out. He kind of freaked out when he saw her.
You have proof my dog was out on the 17th?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Pamela Hill says former tenant Penny Soto damaged her condo.
I suggest you bring this to them and say to them, I'm not paying this part of the bill.
Okay.
Got it? judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $525.
Well,
That
Your
has to
Honor,
do with
Your
your dog.
Honor, Your Honor, look, I have proof that she has damaged my property.
You kept almost $2,000.
I have
Listen
my
to me.
bill for my painter and everything.
Listen to me. She's not making you a new condo. You had that condo
I know
for
exactly what she's-
carefully. I'm leaving. You had the condo for 20 years.
Right.
You rented it. Now you want to move back into it with a new baby. I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
Yes.
I'm speaking. She's
I got
not
something.
giving you a new condo for $4,000.
that.
You understand that? $525. We are
But
done.
Your Honor,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm upset because she's on Section 8. I didn't bring all that stuff up, but it's on Section 8.
She rented to Section 8. She took advantage of the program
And then she go trash my place.
and was able to give her,
That's crazy.
and she wasn't happy with the results.
Yes, my neighbors have problems with her also. She's on Section 8. She's on the county.
She wanted to rent us this condo so she could get it remodeled, and that was the end result.
I will be calling the county today, and I will be calling Section 8 today.
Because she knew my mom was low income and she wanted to use her.
That's horrible, and her daughter and all of them.
I hope that she understands the type of person that she is and that you cannot do people that way. You can't use people, and it's going to come back to her.
And they're not, all of them ain't supposed to be up in there.
And that's why it did, because Judge Judy's seen and God sees, and God knows that she's evil.
See, now they're going to start a problem up in the building because, see, now
Because my mom's such a good person and it really hurts me.
it's on and cracking.
She's already going through a lot, you know, and I just...
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Stewart versus Grimshaw. Step forward.
Linda and Robert Stewart are suing their neighbor, Elizabeth Charisse Grimshaw, for vet bills due to a dog attack.
Okay, this is what the case is about. You two are neighbors. You have a large dog.
Yes,
How many?
I have one.
One. What kind of a dog?
She's a Malamute.
Weighs about 90 pounds?
90 pounds?
90 pounds. And your dog got out and bit the plaintiff's dog.
Yes.
When was that?
June 8th.
And your dog was seen by the vet, and the vet bill was how much?
First vet bill was $310.
Just a second. Bill to Miss Grimshaw, and she paid you.
Correct.
$310,000. She accepted responsibility.
Correct.
This case isn't about that. This case is about a subsequent visit to the vet where your dog was diagnosed with a hernia. And you want Miss Grimshaw to be responsible for the hernia surgery for the dog as well. That's what the case is about. I see you don't have a vet here, so you don't have an expert witness. So let's see if there's any proof that would satisfy me that there is some nexus between the dog bite that Ms. Grimshaw acknowledges that was her responsibility and this hernia.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When she confronted me with this second bill for $956, 9 days after the initial attack, and I told her, so how was your dog out on the 17th walking around? And she told me my dog was sedated for 9 days.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Linda and Robert Stewart claim neighbor Elizabeth Charisse Grimshaw is responsible for vet bills resulting from a dog attack.
Now, when was the dog operated on for a hernia?
The 19th of June.
So we're talking roughly any medical record from
Yes, ma'am.
the doctor with a report
Yes,
with
ma'am.
regard to the hernia. I'd like to see it. Okay. Do you want to take a look at these?
Yes.
Have you seen them?
No, I have not.
Your Honor, we took that report over to her.
We showed it to her.
Ms. Grimshaw, while I tell you that there is a suggestion in the report that this hernia that was repaired was 2 centimeters away from the wound area, one of the wound areas, because there were multiple wounds on the dog, it's certainly not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I have a couple of questions for you. After the 8th of June, did your dog get out again?
No.
Yes, she did.
On what date?
Oh, that's a good question.
17th?
The 17th is when I called the vet because I found the lump on his side by the bite mark. So it was the 17th because I took him in that same day.
Tell me where you saw her dog on the 17th.
In the front of her yard, I took him out on his leash to go to the mailbox because he was still recovering and he was in a lot of pain. Anyway, make a long story short, I saw her dog out. He kind of freaked out when he saw her, and so I just picked correct. She's been out About 6 times since they've been living next door to us.
Has the dog been out since June 17th?
No, I have not seen her.
Where is the dog?
At my house. Do you have proof my dog was out on the 17th? Sorry.
When did you get this dog?
A little over 10 years ago.
When did you move into the neighborhood?
Almost 5.
Anything unusual going on in your household in the month of June?
No, nothing.
Can you account for the fact that your dog was out without a leash?
It was by accident. The pool guy went in through our side gate, and the latch wasn't closed all the way when he shut it, and my dog happened to push it open, and she got out.
The latch, I'm sorry.
Did you tell Miss Grimshaw that her dog was out again?
No, I did not.
No, I know we asked her many times to put a lock on that gate. And the day this happened at first, we asked her to put a lock on the gate, and I think the lock just got on the gate about a week ago. So
did you change the lock?
There was never a lock on there. There is a lock on there now, yes.
So that was done recently?
Yes.
Good idea.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Top one should go first.
one's for the exam, and the other one's for the surgery.
How old is your dog?
He's 5, and he's a rescue from the Silky Foundation. We've had him since November 2013.
And it was on the 17th that you noticed this lump around the wound
Yes.
site? Okay. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Great. Anything else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so when she confronted me with this second bill for $956, 9 days after the initial attack, and I told her specifically how your dog was in your care for 9 days, and she told me my dog was sedated for 9 days. So how was your dog out on the 17th walking around?
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,002, which is
Thank
what you're
you very
suing
much,
for.
ma'am.
We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
We absolutely know that this was caused by her dog.
I didn't even know my dog was out on the 17th.
There's never been any doubt in our minds.
And they're claiming that when my dog got out on the 17th is when they found the lump.
Oh, it was awful. I was in shock.
Well, it's not the first time that something's happened to her dog.
I love Juno. She's a nice dog, but she's not nice.
Dog was ran over 2 years ago.
That we can, be okay, say hi to each other.
Amazing, whatever.
I'm just glad justice was done.
Glad it's over.
Miss Crum has made it her personal endeavor to destroy my business.
A tropical fish venture sinks fast.
We were supposed to divide the money in half because she was my business partner.
I never agreed to be his business partner.
You're getting yourself into such trouble, Miss Crum.
And any cooperation is dead in the water.
Mr. Doss never opened his store. He's running it illegally out of his home while collecting welfare.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Kendra Crum is suing James Doss and Samuel Freed for travel expenses, lost wages, and the value of exotic fish.
Order. All rise. Here's case number 215 on the calendar in the matter of Crum versus Doss Freed.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Miss Crum, who is this?
This is my nephew, Curtis. He was with me throughout the trip that we are here for today. Oh, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I am a retired nurse. I was injured on the job 4 years ago and unable to return to work.
How old are you?
42.
You collect any sort of disability?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And as some sort of a side business, you do tropical fish?
As a hobby, I have several...
It's more than a hobby, because it's clearly more than a hobby, because that's why we're here. Everybody was supposed to make money on this little project.
As far as the only money that I get from this hobby is to keep my fish tanks going. I don't sell for a profit. The only time I sell fish is when I need supplies for my fish tank, whether it be filters, fish food, chemicals.
I breed fish in my home as a hobby. I sell my fish to pay for all the expenses related to the activity. Met James a couple of years ago at a local fish auction. Is that where she met you?
No, ma'am.
Where did she meet you?
She actually met me through the Erie County Tropical Fish Club Facebook page. We didn't actually meet in person until April of this year.
And so I want you to tell me, you met on a Facebook page, but in April, how did you meet?
I had been looking for the last couple of years to get a new stock of angels just to have them because I enjoy
stock of what?
Angelfish. Because I enjoy them as a hobby, and I knew she was a local breeder that had great knowledge to the community.
Are those giant angelfish or are they small angelfish?
Full size, they get about 6 to 8 inches max.
That's big.
Yeah.
And tell me something, Mr. Dawson, how much do you pay for one of these angelfish?
If you get them as in fry size, you can pay 50 cents to $1. They range up to several $100s.
Did you ever buy fish from Miss Crum?
No, I did not.
Do you breed anything other than angelfish?
I have several different kinds of fish, Your Honor. I don't necessarily breed them. I have cichlid fish called mabunas, different varieties. I have a tank of discus fish. I have some higher-end guppies, bristlenose plecos, a few different varieties of those.
How many tanks do you have in your house?
I have 2 large 75-gallon tanks, a 55-gallon tank, a 29-gallon tank, and at the current moment I have 3 10-gallon tanks set up. I also have betta fish.
Okay, now you're going to tell me why you're suing both Mr. Doss and Mr. Freed.
Mr. Doss had asked me to attend what's called the American Reef and Reptile Convention in Hampton, Virginia. This was to help him promote his store, and I supplied a good deal of the fish for him.
He has a store that sells, among other things, tropical fish.
Actually, he never opened his store. This was to help him get his store opened and up and running. I also helped him with the Facebook page when he first started the Facebook page for his store.
Well, you have a Facebook page also, yes?
Just my private Facebook page, yes.
But it doesn't have anything to do with fish.
Time, yes.
Is that how you found her?
Yes, I actually found her through the Tropical Fish Club of Erie County. Their Facebook page, they have a group page, and that's where I found her.
Through an advertisement?
I don't.
We belonged to,
Just being a member.
At the time, we belonged.
Excuse me.
Just being a member.
You're a member of the club.
Right, they're members of the club.
And how are you related to him?
I'm his uncle.
Do you work together in this fish business?
No.
I'm helping him out whenever he needs help. But
How do you help him?
Example?
Shh. I didn't ask you anything.
Make phone calls for him, or I'll feed the fish in the house. At the expo, I took care of the money. You know, people bought something, I took the money.
Who did they buy something from? The
Them.
2 of them.
Yes.
So they each brought fish to sell at the expo.
Yes.
And the expo required you traveling to the expo.
Yes.
How many days did it take you to get there?
It took one night.
Did you have to stay over?
We stayed over the night after the show.
And did you stay at a hotel or a motel?
Yes, ma'am.
Who paid for that?
Kendra did.
Why?
We didn't have any money at the time. My Social Security didn't come until after the event.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, she was aware of that.
No, I didn't ask you was she aware of that. I asked you whether you told her that your Social Security wasn't coming until after the event.
I do not know the answer to that because I didn't tell her. Jimmy and Kendra.
Social Security
Yes.
wasn't coming until afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
Which presupposes that there was an agreement that you would share the expenses. And you said to him, well, my Social Security's not coming till after the event, so I can't pay for my share until after the event.
Correct.
That sounds right.
Correct.
Perfect. So Jimmy was supposed to pay for his share of the transportation and hotel, etc. Also.
Correct.
Did he pay? That would be a no. Hand down. Did you pay?
I did not pay because...
Just a second. I didn't ask you because you didn't pay.
No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Technically, yes, I did. I paid for the food for that trip. She paid for the gas and hotel that trip. And after the expo, we were supposed to divide the money in half because she was my business partner, which is what she fails to tell you. It's a lot deeper.
She was
than
your
what-
business partner.
Correct.
How?
We split everything half and half. And as of April, when her and I spoke and we agreed, look, I'm having issues getting the loans, she said, made it very clear, I'm getting my Social Security soon. I'll loan you the money if you make me your partner, and I want 50%. I said okay to that, not a problem, which is why we agreed to go to the expo. The week we went to the expo, she got her money, and everything was set from there. She bought a new car, and we took it from there.
Okay, so you made a little money at the expo.
We made $214
each
total.
And did you share?
Something happened at the end of the expo, and Miss Crum admitted that she was the one who got nasty, attacked my nephew, attacked me, attacked my uncle. She told me, for lack of better words, to get my crap and get the hell out of her face, in which I did. At the end of the expo, I kept the credit card sales because there was a little bit more to cover the sales tax, and she took the cash that was in the box.
What about her nephew?
That was for her to take care of him.
Was he working there also?
No, he was.
What was he doing?
Walking around, doing whatever him and his friend. She actually had him and his friend come, and they walked around doing nothing. Other than, I guess, after we left, apparently they helped her clean up her stuff.
Okay. Now, Miss Crum, now I got it. So you drove your car?
I drove my car.
Just a sec. You drove your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Your disability doesn't impair your driving?
At times it does.
But it didn't impair your driving to go from one state to another to the
I did
expo.
not take any of my medication in order to make the drive.
Okey-dokey. All right. So now you have 3 minutes to tell me what you're suing him for.
I never agreed to be his business partner. He's also told...
I didn't ask you what you didn't agree to. I asked you what you're suing him for.
For the travel down, for the fish that I had packed into coolers for the trip down that he removed from the coolers and put into a tank in the back of his vehicle, which ultimately killed many of the fish.
What his vehicle? You went in cars.
My nephew drove my Chevy HHR down full of fish, 3 terrariums with frogs in it that belonged to another local business.
You're getting yourself into such trouble, Miss Crum. You have no idea how much trouble you're getting yourself into.
I would also like to point out, Your Honor, that Mr. Doss never opened his store. He's running it illegally out of his home while collecting welfare. When we went to the store just prior to leaving Buffalo that night, I specifically asked him if he had his gas money. He told me he did. He did not tell me that he did not have any gas money until about 4 hours into the trip.
Who paid for the food?
I apologize.
Who paid for the food?
I had my own separate cart in the grocery store, and when I went to pull my card out to pay for the food in my basket, he zipped over and ran his EBD card.
All right, are we done?
And I offered
Are we
to pay...
done? I just want to know, just tell me what else you're suing him for.
Because he left at the end of the show. I did not tell him to leave. You can ask my nephew. I'm
not asking your nephew anything. Did you take any money out of the cash box?
He left approximately...
Did you take any money out of the cash box?
He left approximately $100 in the cash box.
Good. Now, you have some sort of a ridiculous counterclaim. You want to tell me what it is, please?
Yes, since the personal endeavor to destroy my business, she has destroyed my business. I have been slandered.
Just a minute. What kind of business?
It was the fish. Sorry.
But I thought you weren't in business.
I was trying to get into business.
Correct.
I
you were
did
trying to get into business.
I did have a DBA.
What kind of work do you do?
I had my pet store. I had my store, that's it.
No, you didn't have your store. You were trying to open a store. Do you collect public assistance?
No, I don't. I do receive food stamps and I get medical, and that is it.
Good. All right. Are we done here? I'm done. Goodbye.
I have more to say in my claim. I have a $5,000 claim, and I'm asking for it to be heard. She has slandered me. She has harassed me. She has taken my business from me, and the damage she's done to me is irreparable.
Actually, sir, I don't know that because you don't have any witnesses to that, but I'm going to take, not your uncle, I'm going to take a look at what you say she's done that was not true, and if it is slander per se, I'll hear you.
Also on
Just up.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
he come down the hill and into the parking lot and made a curve and just smashed right in the side of my Bronco.
You didn't ask for any assistance that day, sir?
I did, actually. I was lying in an ambulance. I can't walk.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kendra Crum says James Doss and Samuel Freed owe for damages resulting from a trip to an exotic fish convention. The defendants are countersuing for defamation of character and loss of business.
Oh, so you're fighting with each other on Facebook?
As a business,
Just a second, you're fighting with each other on Facebook.
Well, I don't feel it was fighting. As a business owner, I have to protect my company.
We're done. Goodbye.
She lost.
These are excused. You may step out.
Yes, I fully admit I lost my temper at the expo after...
Absolutely disgusting. She was swearing in front of him, cussing me out in front of him.
Being on the road and being told they had no money for lodging.
And I believe that's a big part of why we didn't make much money that day.
They're claiming that I beat his nephew. I never beat his nephew.
Because he wouldn't wake up quick enough, she proceeded to slap him until he did wake up.
He needs to close his store because he does not know how to run a business.
I'm glad that Kendra was found to be a fraud and a crook that she is, and justice was served.
And he does not know how to take care of fish. His tanks were disgusting and they smelled.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Swanson versus Vaughn. Step forward.
Linda Swanson is suing 24-year-old Jacob Vaughn for skateboard.
Ms. Swanson, it is your claim that on the 15th of July of this year, your car was parked in a parking lot. Mr. Vaughn was on a skateboard, and Mr. Vaughn collided with your parked car, causing damage to the car. Mr. Vaughn tells a different story. Mr. Vaughn says that he was in the parking lot, but you were actually in your car, and your car was moving. That's his story. So tell me where you were on the 15th of July.
Spokane, Washington, at the Federal Credit Union by Riverfront Park. Mr. Vaughn was coming down Howard Street with a slight incline into the bank parking lot on his longboard.
Is the bank parking lot, does it have a glass window?
It does.
And you were standing?
Inside.
Is there any particular reason you were looking outside?
The play area is there. I had my 4-year-old grandson with me, and he was playing right there, and I commented, come look.
Just a second.
Oh, sure.
So the play area was in the credit union, not outside?
Right.
So within the credit union, there is a play area for children?
With a big picture window.
And the picture window overlooks the parking lot?
It does, and up the hill where Mr. Vaughn was coming down.
So you saw him coming down the hill, and?
He looked professional. He was just really going fast, and I asked my grandson, look at this man. Oh,
don't tell me.
Just commented how fast he was going and his speed, and he was doing good. And he come down the hill, smashed right in the side of my Bronco.
What did you do at that point?
I think I was in shock for a few minutes, but the fact that he was knocked on the ground, of course, I was concerned. And the bank people had seen it out their side of the windows and had called 911. And then I went over here and I seen Mr. Vaughn on the ground. And
was anybody else there from the bank? Did anybody else go outside from the bank?
We all went outside, yes.
How many people went outside?
At least 4.
Did the police arrive?
They called the police. The police did not show up.
Did not?
No, they did not. They said they weren't going to. Private parking lot, possibly?
No.
No?
No, only because they had somebody potentially injured.
True.
So you didn't ask for any assistance that day, sir?
I did, actually. I was lying in a pool of my own blood, and I literally was like, call an ambulance, I can't walk.
Did somebody call an ambulance?
Yes, I have no idea who, though.
But you were, in fact, taken to a hospital?
Yes. And I have a after-visit summary if you need to see it.
No, I don't need it.
Okay.
You were injured?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I was already on a turn going around the bend, and I found myself on a collision course with a vehicle backing out of the parking lot.
I parked for a break.
In the parking lot. Parked, not backing up, parked.
Oh.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Linda Swanson says Jacob Vaughn owes for crashing into her car while riding his skateboard. Jacob is countersuing for harassment and slander.
Now, what kind of car were you driving?
1995 Bronco.
Is there insurance on this car?
Liability.
And what kind of work do you do, Mr. Vaughn?
I collect Social Security. I have not worked, but it's for a learning disability, and I would rather not get into it. It's complicated.
In order to collect disability, did you have to hire a lawyer?
No, it was all done by my mother.
Years ago?
Yes.
Who do you live with?
I live with my girlfriend Bailey and her family at this moment. I've been homeless for my bad.
Between July 15th and now, did you contact an attorney?
No, I have not.
Okay, but you seem like an intelligent young man. Your claim, which I read, sir, is that she was moving. And you know that if her car was moving between you and your girlfriend and her family, they would have said, well, I was lying in my own blood and she hit me because she was moving in the parking lot. This accident was her fault, not mine. And therefore, I'm going to sue her.
Yeah.
So you know.
I have a counter.
For punitive damages for harassment and slander.
Yes.
That's not for the accident.
Okay.
That's not for the accident. So now I'm going to ask you again, Mr. Vaughn, because I'm going to respect your privacy. You know that if she were driving and hit you rather than you plowing into her parked car, that you would have contacted her insurance company and said, I'm going to sue you, right?
I've never done that before.
Oh, well, Mr. Vaughn, you
Yes.
may not have done that before, but you don't live in a bubble, sir. You have a girlfriend. Do you work?
No, ma'am.
Who works in your family?
My mother does.
She have a car?
Yes.
And he lives with you and your mother?
Yes.
Then you know. Mr. Vaughn. So you want to tell me what happened on July 15th?
I went downtown to pick up my check from my payee, and I was lawnboarding to go and catch a bus, and I was cut off by a white Jeep that was riding outside of its lane and in the bike lane, and so I had to do an emergency maneuver around it, and I was already on a turn going around the bend right next to the Spokane Arena, and because I had to avoid the Jeep, I literally couldn't stop, and I flew into the parking lot, and as I turned right, I pretty much found myself backing out of the parking lot.
Used my
Parked
for a break.
in the parking lot. Parked in the parking lot. Parked, not backing up. Parked.
Oh.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
All she wants you to do is to fix the car.
And I said that my SSI cannot be garnished for civil action, so this was one of the only options.
Okay. You have an estimate for the car?
I do. I believe last page, Judge.
Your car's 20 years old? You have pictures of the car?
I do.
I'd like to see it.
It used to be nice. This is what it looks like now.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,000. We're finished. Thank you.
Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Before I...
Concerned about him first, but yes.
Is this, like, am I going to die, or am I going to be okay, or...
He was a pretty big man, so...
When the paramedics got on the scene, they spent, like, 20 minutes or so...
I thought, well, better go see if there's any damage, and...
Looking at me and analyzing, like, the damage that I did to my body.
There was a lot.
And then they strapped me to a gurney and took me over to, the Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane.
Slow down on your skateboard and have control. He used my Bronco for a break.
I'm glad it's over with. I think that this is the best way it could get worked out.
When did you sell the business to the defendant?
6 months after our grand opening.
Unloading their salon had them tearing their hair out.
I asked for however we could get the money, check or cash. He began to write us bad checks.
And this buyer cut off all payment.
I just ignore him. I block him. I don't answer him anymore.
Well, you owe him $3,000.
No, I don't have a proof with me.
Oh, you don't have the proof with you? Go back to Long Island.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Lorraine Yerkins and fiancé Adam DeLeo paid balance of a salon business they sold him.
Order. All rise. It's case number 232 on the calendar in the matter of Yerkins, DeLeo versus Musa.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Your last name is?
Yerkins.
Okay. Are you married to each other?
Fiance.
Some time ago, the two of you opened a beauty salon. Is that what you do for a living?
That's what we did at the time.
Okay. When did you open the beauty salon?
May 2013 is when we signed our lease.
When did you move in?
August 1st.
And you hope to make a business of it?
Yes.
What happened?
Well...
Just say it. Don't figure out where I'm going. You don't sell a successful business.
Right. It was a salon that was catered to young girls.
When did you sell the business to the defendant?
We sold the business in February of 2014. It was 6 months after our grand opening.
So you weren't seeing from your business what you had anticipated, I assume?
For 6 months, we had seen exactly what we did anticipate monetarily. Lorraine was the sole owner of the business. She had intended on going in with a business partner.
Just a minute. She was the sole owner of the business when it was sold in February of 2014?
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, why are you here? I'm asking you, why are you here?
Because I dealt with Rocky.
So you're a witness?
No, I dealt with Rocky throughout the process of trying to collect the money.
You're a witness. If Miss Yerkins, is that right?
Yes.
Was the sole proprietor, you're a witness, so you could sit down. Now I'm going to get back to it.
Okay.
You opened up this business. You invested some time and money into fixing it up.
We did.
And within 6 months, you decided to sell it. Was
I
it
did.
your money that you invested?
Yes, it was. It was a personal loan.
And how much of a personal loan did you take out and from whom?
$30,000 at my bank that I use.
So you invested $30,000 in the business?
More than that, because I put in my own money as well.
How much did you personally put in that you can demonstrate to me through bank accounts, etc.?
I would say about maybe $5,000 of my own.
Okay. So you invested $35,000 in the business?
Yes.
And the business then was not where you wanted it to be, or else you would have stayed, I assume. What are you doing now?
Well, right now I'm in nursing school. So I went back to school to finish my degree in nursing.
Now, you went back to school for nursing. There had to be a reason for that. You want to tell me what the reason was?
Absolutely. When I went into the salon, opening the salon, I initially had thought that I was going to have a partner, pretty much based on the job and not take on the risk of opening a business. I still thought it was a great idea. We had an awesome location next to a Starbucks, and I thought the business would do really well. So I just said, okay, that's fine. Let me go on, and I'll do it on my own. But with that, I didn't realize all of the duties that were included in operating a new business on my own. So I was responsible from opening to cleaning, to hiring, to firing, to ordering supplies. I mean, I was there from the start to the finish.
You tell a very good story, and I believe you.
Okay. So it just got too much. I had a 2-year-old daughter, and I was spending no time with her, and these parties were on the weekends, so I didn't even have weekends free.
Tell me what parties you're talking about.
Okay, so our salon was geared towards girls, young girls, like 4 to 12, the age range, and we did special birthday parties for them. So they would come in, have their hair and makeup done, makeup application, chocolate facials, just like a little party, but with the salon atmosphere there. But we did do regular hair salon services as well during the week, but the majority of the parties were on the weekends.
Okay. Then you sold Mr. Musa the business.
I did not sell him the business. I sold his wife, Madeline Scarretta, the business.
Oh, then what is he doing here?
I have no idea, Your Honor. I just found out she wasn't going to be here today.
Got the wrong party. Where do you come from?
Islip, Long Island.
Well, that's too bad. Why isn't...
I am the one who dealt with him.
Let me see it.
I'm sorry, my son can help me with that if you don't mind, Your Honor.
Of course, I just want to see the power of
yes,
attorney
that's
that
about
she gave you the authority to appear on her behalf today. Okay. Now, you sold Mr. Musa's wife the business for how much?
I did. $38,000.
And how much did Mrs. Musa or her husband pay you back of the $38,000?
Can I go to my...
No, just tell me.
He was the one dealing with the payment because I started school again and I didn't want to have any dealings with this fiance.
Stand up. How much money did they pay back?
They paid back approximately... I do have it in my notes, Your Honor.
How much did you pay back?
I paid the whole thing.
I have it here. So we sold the business on...
No, I just asked you a question. I said, of the $38,000 purchase price, how much did they pay back?
They paid back $16,549 on the first contract.
I didn't ask you that question. I asked you a simple question. I'm going to ask you only once, and then I'm just going to throw you out. I said, how much did they...
$20,549.
Period.
Yes.
Do you have proof, sir, that you paid them more than $20,540?
Yes, I don't have a proof with me. But
You don't have the proof with you? Go back to Long Island. Listen, you need your wife, you need your proof. Do you understand?
I understand.
Very good. I need checks. I need canceled checks. Do you have that with you? It doesn't look like you have anything.
I have some, but can I explain if you don't mind?
The answer is no.
Because he was most of the time asking for cash. I have proof that he was asking for cash only.
Did you ask for cash?
Never.
No. Let me see the proof that
Give
they
me
asked
the
for
phone.
cash.
Can I come take cash money?
No,
I
no.
have check as well. Here
Just
is
a
cash
second.
money.
All I want to know is...
That's $1,450.
Did you ask for cash?
I asked for however we could get the money, check
Can I
for
see?
cash.
That's $1,450, and that's in the bank, in the cell phone. Every couple of days he asks for $200, $300.
Let
Show
me see.
it to him.
Can I just see the phone?
Yes, my son will get it out.
Okay. Here we go. So at some point, your contract was modified because this says from you, this is from you, all that we owe,
right,
not a penny more. And this is 3 weekends in a row that you had planned on meeting with me, and I haven't so much as gotten a text. So now it's not $18,000, it's $3,200 that they owe you, that you acknowledge that they owe you.
Right. But we do have...
Just a second. What can you give me tomorrow in cash? Can you give me $200?
And, Your Honor, the reason why I was asking for cash was because he began to write us bad checks.
And we also have audio of him confirming that he did write us a bad check. So when I went to my bank to...
Okay, sir. Did you ever give him more money? Listen to me. Did you ever give him any more money after he asked for the $200 in cash? Did you give him the $200?
Only $200, and that's it.
And that was fair. So you gave him the $200.
$200, he came and...
Just a second. So you gave him the $200.
And that's it.
That was September. So
no,
now
it
he
was
only...
July. It was July, Your Honor.
So
July,
now
yeah.
he owes... You only owe them $3,000.
I don't.
Did you pay them the $3,000?
No.
Well, you don't say here that I don't owe you $3,200.
I didn't. I just ignore him. I block him. I don't answer him anymore.
We actually have a tape of him...
Just a second. Well, you owe him $3,000.
No.
Okay,
I'm sorry,
Your Honor.
let me explain.
Just a second. Then you tell me, so far I have...
For $5 something, he said, I give him bad check. I never.
Just a second.
Okay, that's why I don't owe him bad check. When I bought the business from Adam and his wife, they make the whole world, like, as you say, it's buffing. It's $1 million a week. I have 100 customers. Okay, it's fine. But we hire his wife to work for us, and I paying her.
Right from the beginning?
From the beginning. 3-4 months she working, getting salary.
No, Mama.
Don't.
I'm sorry.
Because he has a counterclaim.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I pay him $14.50. He was hiding from his wife because she was very tough with him. I give you the check, his signature.
You gave me a check.
For $14.50.
I cannot see what this is.
That's his signature, man.
So what?
And later today...
Did Mr. Clark go outside? After she walked out the door,
Yes,
did he
ma'am.
follow her out the door? The answer is yes.
Okay. Your Honor.
No, I'm not asking you anything at all yet.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Lorraine Yerkins and fiancé Adam DeLeo say Rocky Musa owes for the balance of a salon business they sold him.
Go ahead.
Okay, we hire her to work for us, and she get 4 or 5 girls, her own people. And one day she start to answer, we ask her, do you make any money? No. So my wife called her. My wife, she never deal with this.
You can't tell me anything your wife said or
Okay,
did.
I understand. Okay, I asked Adam, your wife didn't bring any money for us. She texts my wife, very nasty text, and me, both of us, with a nasty attitude. So I tell my wife, we don't need that. Go close this business and fire her. My wife went to Starbucks, and she asked her question, and whatever happened, she went there and she closed the place. Tell her, I don't want you. We're closing up. In that time, we close.
So you closed?
We close. No, right now we're open, but we close that time. Okay. We close it because we didn't have anybody to work, and my wife is not going to work. And she have 4 girls working for her, all her group, her people. She texted me, she said, if you fire me, nobody will work. I said, okay, I'll close it. I don't need this business. So we close the business 3-4 months. And when we come, we look at how many parties she done, and you can ask her. She never gave me one dime, and she make 10 parties.
I don't know any.
I don't.
Because you have no proof, because I see there's nothing on your table. So far, you owe him $3,000.
I pay him $14.50. He was hiding from his wife because she was very tough with him. Here is the $14.50. She don't know nothing about it. He was coming to me.
All I'm asking you for, sir,
I gave
is
you,
the
man.
proof. No, you didn't.
I gave you the check, his signature.
You gave me a check.
For $14.50. No, I know what I'm saying.
Do you see what this is? I cannot see what this is.
That's his signature, man.
So what?
He signed, received $14.50.
So what? That's in December.
Yes, but she didn't know about it.
You owe him $3,000. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was just one wrong decision from my wife.
I really thought that they were well off and that they would be truthful to their word in paying me back.
Don't listen to whoever sells you the business and think why he sells the business.
When you get that weird feeling, there probably is something up with that.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Sheffield versus Clark, step forward.
22-year-old Kai Sheffield is suing her former friend, 23-year-old Demias Clark, for assaulting her and vandalizing her car.
Miss Sheffield, the defendant was your best friend's boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that the date?
Yes, ma'am. It's the 31st of August.
On the 31st of August, you were visiting your best friend.
Yes, ma'am.
At her house.
Yes, ma'am.
There was an argument between the defendant and his then girlfriend. Who's the girlfriend? Are you back together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Stand up. Tell me your last name.
Terrell.
Ms. Terrell, on August 31st, what were you fighting with him about?
He saw a text in my phone from Kai.
That he didn't like?
No, he didn't like. They were really flirtatious.
Okay. And so the two of you were arguing?
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, Kai got involved. That's you, Miss Sheffield, is
yes,
that right?
ma'am.
Kai got involved in the argument between you and your boyfriend. Did you tell your boyfriend to leave your house?
Mm-mm.
Don't
no,
say.
no, ma'am.
What did you tell him?
Well, I kind of told him to leave, but he didn't have to. Oh, sorry.
Either you told him to leave or you didn't tell him to leave.
I told him he had to move out.
He had to move out?
Yeah.
Okay, so you told him he had to leave. And what happened when you told him he had to leave?
We kind of started arguing.
Were you arguing physically or just verbally?
Verbally.
Anybody else there?
Kai was.
Anybody else?
My son.
How old is he?
He's 4.
And who is his father? That would be you.
Yeah.
Now, at some point, Miss Sheffield said that Mr. Clark threw something at her car that caused damage to the car. Were you outside when that happened?
Mm-mm. No, ma'am.
You were inside?
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Clark go outside after she left? After she walked out the door,
yes,
did he
ma'am.
follow her out the door? The answer is yes.
Okay. Your Honor.
No, I'm not asking you anything at all yet.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Did you have a discussion with him about what happened with Miss Sheffield's car?
Somewhat.
Not
it
somewhat.
wasn't in
Either you have a
particular.
discussion.
Yes, ma'am. We had a discussion.
Uncross your arms.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kai Sheffield says former friend Demias Clark assaulted her and threw a 2x4 at her car.
Now, had they been yelling at each other?
Yes.
What was he yelling at her?
He was asking her to leave.
But yelling. Did you see what happened outside to Miss Sheffield's car?
No, ma'am.
Did you see Mr. Clark come back into the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell him to leave again?
Yeah. He kind of decided that he had wanted to leave anyways, so we're trying to work it out.
So he did leave?
Yeah.
On the 31st?
He left the house, but he was still living there, like his possessions and still things were there. Then he showed up at a later date in order to collect his things.
Has he been back to the house?
After August, he came in September to pick up some of his things, and then I haven't really seen him since, we came here.
Did you have a discussion with him about what happened with Miss Sheffield's car?
Somewhat,
not
it
somewhat.
wasn't in
Either you have a
particular.
discussion.
Yes, ma'am, we had a discussion.
And I want you to tell me what you said to him and what he said to you. Try not to filter it. Try just to tell me exactly what you said to him and what he said to you about Miss Sheffield's car.
Well, I really didn't know that, he had did it in particular. So,
What did you say to him and what did he say to you?
He was more talking about the inappropriateness of the text more than, her car.
Well, I want to hear just what he had to say about her car.
I have a text from her, Your Honor.
Can I see it? What did he do to your car? You got into the car and?
And he threw a 2x hood and bounced and caused some dents and scratches, which I have pictures of.
I'd like to see the car.
And I also have a picture of the car before, when I first bought it.
Mm-hmm. Looks like a nice new shiny car.
Yes, ma'am. It was a graduation present.
And do you have an estimate to fix it?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Uncross your arms.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Did you have it fixed yet?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You have a paid bill?
Yes, sir. I decided to fix it a couple of weeks ago so that I didn't have to ride around with a damaged vehicle.
So insurance paid for part of it?
Yes, ma'am. I had to borrow the money from my mother to pay the deductible.
So the deductible was $500, is what?
Yes, ma'am, that we had to pay out of our pockets.
Now you can look at me. You have anything to say?
I wanted to tell my side of the story. And
I'm waiting.
I mean,
I don't care. I want to get to the car. Now she's
that's the
outside.
whole car deal. She was in the house the whole time.
Right.
Now, I asked her to leave before she even asked me to leave, because she asked me to leave after
Now
I
you're
flipped out on
outside.
her. I'm
now
outside.
You're outside and
she's screaming and hollering, cursing me out and whatnot. And she picks up things and starts throwing at me, going crazy, just nuts on me.
That's
and
completely false, Your Honor.
she threw something up, or threw it, whatever, and it hit her top